for you. I love it.
Yeah, I'm
trying to get the balls to like get myself on camera more and do shit because I know that's the way now.
It's tough.
I think I can do it with golf. I'm big into like crypto and finance and stuff.
Are you?
So, like, yeah, like I know all about that stuff. So like, dude, I taught him how to trade, and then and also like just business and like Paisani stuff, and then
we talked about doing something
also
with
fitness
that for
and
a
like
while.
Like Paisani related.
Yeah, like a Paisani YouTuber, a Paisani fucking some sort of.
So we're in full swing. It's so hard to do all that stuff.
I know, I can imagine. Well, that's why like
it's so much on our
That's why you kind of just need to like grind on the Paisan, get it so that it can support having someone do that for you, and then just have them do it.
Or like our goal is to like get somebody off the get one of us off the truck, where like not like one of us each day, but like have some more employees so that like if one day I can go and just strictly get content, he can go and strictly get content.
Yeah.
Rather than like trying to do it as we go, because we could get 20 videos in a day if we have someone doing that all day, rather than like, all right, let's take a quick video before we open the window, and then we're opening.
That's what it's been like. Or we hired you know Malcolm Higgins.
Yeah.
So we hired him and his buddy to do some work for us, and they did a great job. But it's like it's so expensive for if we're only making X amount of money in like a fucking year in profit. It's like, how can you justify spending 10% of that on marketing?
Yeah, marketing is the hardest thing, because I was a marketing major, so I understand, like, they tell us in our classes, they're like, listen, if you're not showing, you have to find the value you're providing and show that to them, or else you're losing everybody.
100%.
Because you can't see, it's not tangible value.
Like, with what we do in the restaurant industry, whatever, sandwich shops, food trucks, it's a lot of word of mouth. Like, still, even in this day and age, like, obviously, you get a lot of...
Social media is a form of word of mouth. Yeah, if I send you a DM with Paisani...
But, like, for example, just from natural organic posting, like, we paid for that one thing. Other than that, we didn't spend $1 on marketing, other than, like, a little bit of money on, like, business cards that have a QR code that you can go right to our stuff.
Well, you could say, like, the business cards, the tripods, like, anything that we're making...
That's like, be honest, less than $1,000 total.
Yeah.
And how many followers you guys got?
Like 7,000.
Yeah, 7,200. So the thing
is, fucking incredible.
The show helped out too with that.
Oh yeah. We'll get into that.
When we hired them to do something for us, though, it was like perfect timing. We were like, all right, we want people who are coming from the show to see like the best version of our brand. So when they made all those videos and all the posts, like we had some really high quality photos and videos and everything. And it was great timing for us, but to continue that, it's like we can't justify spending more money on it because we were kind of at capacity already. So it's like it's not bringing us more business in a way. It's building our brand, but we can't triple what we're doing during lunch because we're getting more followers on Instagram. If we had a storefront, it's different because
it's the storefront that's kind of the blockade to the increase in like.
Well, yeah, you think, like, revenue. We're open, we go into the city for lunch, so it's like 99% of companies are eating lunch between, like, 12 and 1. Somewhere around there. Maybe it starts at 12:30, maybe it starts at 11:30. We're open from 11:30 to 2 because once 1:30 hits, 11:30 to 12, you get a few people that know about us try to come at that time because they know, like, they'll be in and out. But then once 12 comes, it's like, there's the line starts forming. We got to be like, boom, 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 boom. And then once 1:30 comes, there's nobody there. So it's like you can sit there all night and like make a couple $100, but it's like with labor costs, food costs, everything. At the end of that, and like propane and all the costs associated, you're sitting there losing money technically.
It's so fascinating.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so.
So it's like just get in, get out, make your sales for the day, and yeah, you might do 500 more sales if you stay for another 4 hours. But then you just paid somebody. You just paid two people $200 combined, and you did 500 in sales. 20% of that's food cost, so 100 of that's food cost, maybe more, depends.
Especially the way you guys make it, man.
Well, the thing about our product is that we make everything from scratch, other than the bread, like and the cheese, like we like.
Yeah, but the bread, it's not like you skimp on the bread. Like you guys go get the.
We pick it up every day.
You go get the bread.
I mean, dude, we buy wheels of Grana Padano cheese, which is like a Parmesan cheese from Italy, and we literally hand grade it. We could just buy a bag of Parmesan and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that shit, it's fake shit. Like, we buy the real stuff, we grade it by hand. Like, my shoulder's literally hurting some days after. His too. Like,
I don't complain as much as he does. Yo, it'll be like 5 minutes like, yo, Bomber, you want to take a break?
That's crazy, bro.
well, when you tear your labrum, you can feel it.
The labrum,
Great in that
fucking
shit.
the knee, the labrum, this fucking.
Yeah,
This
I had a lot of
guy's
injuries.
got fucking more injuries.
Just made a glass over there. That's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
I'm not really injury prone, so I don't really understand it.
I'm just not like when I go snow. Like I can't even snowboard anymore because
You just fall apart.
no. I'm just like I'll do anything. Like I grew up in Blue Hills in Canton. Like
Yeah.
that's a tiny little bump.
Yeah,
It's not even it's not even a hill. It's a bump.
Yeah, it's just.
And
a
we
bump.
fucking like
blue
I'd
bump.
go up there and we just do the terrain parking race. So like I was pretty good at snowboarding, but like never did like double blacks or anything.
Yeah.
And then like, cause none of my family skied or anything, so I like once I started going to like big mountains with my friends, they'd be all my friends ski.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, like we're hitting this double, like I don't know if you want to do it. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Next thing you know, I'm flying down Luna at 48 miles an hour, and you can't stop because if you try to stop, like you're gonna eat shit. Yeah. So I
Break your
just
leg.
bomb it, and then I'm like, holy shit, I thought I was gonna die, but that was awesome. Let's do it again. And then I fucking fall, and like I went down a double block at Stowe, and I got off. It's right under the chairlift, and we were looking at it all day. We're like, dude, that thing's icy. Like it was icy. It was like
icy.
negative degrees. Like it was icy
Yeah.
and straight downhill. I'm like, screw it, I'll try it. So my boys like they're skiing. We go. One of them goes first. I go next. I'm going down, and like it's so steep that I'm trying to just like carve. So like I don't want to pick up too much speed. So I'm basically jumping, doing 180s in the air, just trying to slow myself down because you're going so fast.
Yeah.
And one of them, I was on my like front side, and I fell down like that. No, I fell down on my back, and the mountain goes like this, and it's like a cliff, probably a 30-foot drop into the woods. So I'm sliding down, and I'm seeing my life before my eyes. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? So then I'm like, I gotta get out of this. And so I flipped my body over and dug my toes, and I was going so fast that when my toes caught, my body just sprung up, and I ended up going, and I just bombed it, and I was okay. But like my buddy was behind me, and he literally like was going by me, and he couldn't slow down quick enough on his skis because it was so icy. And he actually thought I was flying off the mountain. And he's like, we're gonna have to go get the search party. So then I'm going back down. Then I get up and go, and he probably thinks I'm dead. So I'm behind him, and then I just see a cloud of snow and him just tumbling down the hill. And I'm like, that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Dude, I've never seen.
He was okay.
I want to go, but like it's like golf where like I just started golfing and I'm like I probably spent friggin' $2,500 last year, maybe more.
I was trying to do the math on
I don't want to know. Like there's certain
Yeah.
things in life I'm like I don't want to know how much money I spent.
If I didn't golf or drink,
it's too much.
If I didn't drink, I don't drink that much anymore. But if I didn't drink in college and I never golfed, I'd probably.
You'd be like
have a
Andrew
house.
Murphy, bro.
I'd probably have a
For
house.
me, honestly.
Yeah, or
For
God.
me, yeah.
Like my friends were trying to get me to do the math on like how much I spent on golf in my life, and it's absurd amount.
It kind of because like you don't realize how much you invest into something when it's like slowly over time. It's kind of like a subscription based service.
Yeah.
Like if someone asked you right now to spend like what would that be like $200 on Spotify? Like maybe Spotify is a tough example or like Apple Music because you want music obviously.
Yeah.
But like when you hear it like that, like $200 every year, you're like
Pornhub or
fuck?
something.
And then seriously, imagine paying a monthly subscription for that shit. Yeah, you know what I always said about that? Like, why aren't like I feel like advertisers are missing out by not putting like a Call of Duty ad in front of a fucking porn. Like I feel like that's a massive whiff on the boys. Like it's always other porn. It's like, dude, I didn't click on. I already got my.
I don't
video.
even like that stuff.
It's like it's some
Show me a
elf.
GTA 6.
Yeah,
clip.
dude. If it was GTA, maybe I'm like, yeah, hold on one second. Paisani, welcome,
What's up, brother?
Welcome to the podcast officially. I might even keep that as the beginning. Fuck it, we'll just do the intro in the dead middle. Who knows? But
It's a little pre.
yeah, just to let everyone know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know, like it's gonna be stupid, but it'll be fun. So this has been a long time in the making.
Oh yeah.
Like a long time in the making.
Too long.
A little too long, but it's good though because I feel like you guys are at a bit of a dead point in the season when it comes to your shit, and then on top of that, like I'm at a bit of a dead point as well because it's hard to find people in the middle of the winter to come and sit in the garage with me. Luckily, I got two guys that'll do that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's good that we can kind of get together and talk about everything you guys did. Plus, we're after the show. We get a little bit of experience with Paisan. I want to talk about all of it if you have, as long as we have time. So first thing I do want to talk about is the show, though. because I feel like while people may have watched the show and they knew you guys were like on it, like, and I know a little bit about the behind the scenes of like getting on it and like getting there and like having a like what you can and can't say to people while it's airing and stuff. But I want you guys to kind of explain like what was the process of getting on Paisani, of getting Paisani on the
Great Food Truck
Food Truck Race. How'd you do that?
So we actually got reached out to by some like
we just got a message on Instagram from like a random account, and I was like, "This is sus." It was like, it literally said like, "Would you guys want to be on the Great Food Truck Race?"
We didn't answer for like 2 days, bro, and then
but they had like 5,000 followers, and it looked like she was like a casting agent or something. So we're like, "Yeah, like obviously."
Well, I went back, but we've gotten messages like that before, and it's like, "Oh, you want to be like." You guys want to be in this barbecue competition in Kansas? And I'm like, all right, like, this is some bullshit. Like, I'm not fucking, we're clearly not a barbecue truck. And so, it didn't get answered for like 2 days.
Smoke it off.
Not bad.
Of course.
But then we went back to it, and we're like, oh, shit. Like, this could be legit. She was verified. And
so you checked her on, like, Instagram?
Yeah, and she had, like, 6,000 followers. And it was, like, a paragraph, and it was pretty much summed up to like, you guys want to be on this Food Network show, like, are you interested in the interview?
So then you know sits in for 2 weeks, and then you guys are like, yeah, we do, and then that's just kind of like the end of it. Like, you just sit there, it's like, all right.
Well, so then she put us in contact with the production company. So the production company reached out to us. We did an interview, me, Tommy, and Ryan. It was like an hour long, and it was basically like a interview casting tape that the production company would edit and then send to Food Network and say, hey, do you guys want these guys?
Yeah.
You could probably do that job.
Then we heard back. We heard back like 2 weeks before we were going that we were in.
Wow.
And then so we packed up all our shit, we went, and it was crazy.
Well, this guy, Christian, was like, he was doing the interview, and he's like, oh, you guys are at the top of my list. Like, I fucking love you guys. Like, you're mad funny. Like, you're perfect for this.
It's great when you have a guy like that's like pulling for you.
Oh yeah, and he was the one doing all these interviews, and he's like, yeah, like I've done like 100 of these now, and he's like, you guys are legit at the top of my list. And we're like, oh word. And then we didn't hear back for like what, a month and a half?
Maybe not that long, but
it was a while. It felt like 5 years. Dude.
It was probably like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there was another 2 or 3 weeks before we went, so we only had like a couple weeks to get ready, and like. We brought like a couple little things to use in the truck, but they supplied most of the equipment and everything. And it was just a crazy experience. It was like everyone thinks it was just like it was so fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's like we got to get up at 4:30, meet in the lobby, we had to meet at like a local CVS, like all the trucks and everything, get mic'd up, go out to the spots. Like we rented a car for 10 hours one day and like spent our own money on that to go find spots all around the city. We drove around for 10 hours, like, finding spots, and then, like, they ended up, we couldn't go to some of them. It was tough. It was, like...
It was honestly harder than what we do here,
so,
I would
say.
Yeah.
Like, day to day.
That makes sense.
Trying to build a business
routine
and gain instant reputation in a city that nobody knows you, and you don't have any pull.
Yeah, that's
and
also...
we're in fucking California, bro, trying to sell fucking Italian food.
Like, it'd be easy if this competition was in the North End.
Yeah.
You know, you got something, you know, but, like, you're kind of... And then there was other teams that, like, already had, like, fan bases out there. People that had, like, full...
Yeah, like the Hawaiian guys, like...
Those guys were killing it.
Listen, they were awesome. We loved them, but, like, they would literally open their window and there'd be 50 people waiting outside because of Instagram.
Yeah. They were on Netflix, too.
And they were on Netflix, but they also had family in L.A., so, like...
And they were legends.
Yeah. No, they were the best people ever. Like, I would have done the same thing. But it's just, like, we didn't have that pull. You know? And then the Easy Vegan, they were awesome, too. Great people. But they're from Denver, so they're West Coast, you know? They already had, like, 8,000 followers going into this.
Okay.
So they had a lot of pull, and, like, you know, the vegan community in L.A. is probably the biggest in the country.
Yeah, it was. So it's like, I thought about that too. I'm like, these poor guys going out there trying to sell these
it's just like
the drunken parm.
We couldn't find a community out there. Like we tried finding like, is there any like Italian neighborhoods like the North End, or is there any like neighborhoods where there might be more people that are like that would be tailored to like eat our food or want to help us or whatever. We called like a ton of coffee shops, espresso shops and stuff, and like trying to get outside of there and things like other people did, and we just couldn't find any. We didn't have any. Every time we called, it was like, yeah, like we can't do that. Like we don't know what you're talking about. We're just like, all right, like what are we supposed to do here?
Say, hey, dude, we're on the great food truck.
Like, I mean, we were out fighting for sales. Like we're outside, like grabbing everybody, and like half the people just blow you off. They
like the two teams that made it to the finals, Kana and the Easy Vegan, they both found like a community there in the first like 24 hours. It felt like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they would just go to the same spot every day.
And they were kind of set up for the whole series of it.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, the Easy Vegan especially, it's like we all tried like a lot of the food. Like everyone there had good food, but the Easy Vegan probably, like, in my opinion, was like the most deserving of it. They had like the most talent, like food wise.
It was just like they made some crazy things. Like
crazy.
Like, they had like a carrot bolognese that was bomb. Like,
yeah.
And it was all vegan.
I mean, it wasn't the Paisani food. I've had the Paisani food.
I mean,
the Paisani food's ridiculous.
we're just praising the vegans a little, like, come on.
Yeah, they're vegans.
But
in the end, they're vegan. Like, how
yeah,
good
they
can
are
the fucking
vegan.
food be? Like, you know?
Well, they had a guy that brought a pig over to their truck.
Oh, no way.
And I think I said on camera, like, what did I was like, I got some bacon. We got some bacon for him.
Is that Biggie Bacon?
That's so sick, dude.
But it was a great experience. Like, I mean, we got to meet Mookie Betts. That was sick.
Yeah, that seems
We got
sick.
to hang out with Tyler Florence and get some feedback from him.
When this brother goes, it's a little dry.
First week though, everyone just starts shitting on us. Like the fucking vegans are like, "Yo, that fucking dry ass chicken sandwich for
calling us little
14
boys.
Yeah, what was that about? I felt like it was like an all-out attack on the Paisans.
It honestly felt right watching it though, because it's like we're from Boston, so it's like, you know, everyone. Well, we're from Medford. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Anthony, sorry guys.
We're but like we're the fucking Boston team, so like it just felt like we're like those gritty people, like trying to, you know, everyone's against us.
Make your way up against like the crowd. That's what it kind of felt like in the show. I mean, watching it, there was a fucking uproar in my house when the guy goes, "It's dry." Dude, when he said it was dry, my dad was like, "It was not dry." He was like, "Did he even have the arancini?" I was like, "I don't know."
It was funny because like even the like executive producer and like some of the other producers, we had to make a few of them, like one for pictures, one for the show, and stuff. So the executive producer even came up to us after and was like, that sandwich he ate it like after the whole shoot.
Really?
And it was still sitting there, and he's like, that was incredible. And it was like 3 hours after we made it. It was just sitting there, probably building bacteria. And he was like, that was incredible. And that was pretty cool.
Nah, the drunken parm, I'm like full on. Like,
we juiced it up a little on the show too. Like we had a little fried bajou.
Probably like the best sandwich. It's probably the best sandwich like I've ever had.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Like I've had, because you know, like around here, Sneaky, especially Medford specifically, there's a lot of like places you can get a good chicken parm.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you can go to Bob's, you can go to like Lakash's and get a good steak tip and cheese. You know, there's like that type of sub is everywhere, and I know a good fucking sub.
They're all on Pantadosi,
dude.
They're all on Pantadosi rolls. They're all like, they all use like
not these spots, bro.
Well, no, not
Better
Lakash's.
Yeah.
Lakash's is good.
Nah, Bob's is the same way though. Like they're using the seeded braided rolls. Like, dude, around here.
Well, like I love Dom's. I'm not saying I don't like it. I love that shit. Like I grew up eating that. Like Dom's, I love Dom's, but they like their steak tips are bomb. But like you can get any sandwich there, it's gonna be good. But it's all like it's just. We use like the panko breadcrumbs. We season them.
I was gonna say, what makes the drunken parm?
It's just we do everything from scratch. We buy the chicken breast, we trim it, we make sure there's no tendons or fat or anything on it. Because my word, like, not that like it's a piece of chicken. Like sometimes you get a little chewy bite or whatever. But like growing up, if I had a sandwich or Chipotle and I get like a chewy piece, I'm just like, it just turns me off a little.
Spit that shit out.
Yeah, well no.
And then you're like, I can't even finish this sandwich.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like we try our best to make sure, like, a lot of places, like, it might take us an extra 30 minutes to cut that chicken for that day just to make sure it's all perfect. But we want every bite to be, like,
it's a
great.
Fucking experience.
So
every bite's the experience.
We put in the time. We make everything from scratch. From blending the tomatoes ourselves to
grating the cheese,
exactly, to breading the cutlets, to cooking everything on the truck rather than like cooking it and bringing it. Like we're not like a scoop and serve type of truck, which it's fine, but it's just not our model. It's like we want to bring the freshest. Like, what would I make at home? And like,
how can I serve that to the customer?
Yeah.
So the way I think about it is like he's talking about like all these things we do to try to separate ourselves from everyone else, and in cooking, I feel like it's a labor of love, right? So like however much love you pour into it, how much time it takes, it's like that is the outcome that you get, and that's what the customer wants to eat at the end of the day, and that's the best possible product. So what I think about it is like I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but like growing up, I'm one of 4, so my mom would be cooking, right? And then, you know, one day, it's Tuesday, she just drove us all to fucking 3 baseball games, Little League, and she puts together, like, you know, a little rice dish with some ground beef or something, and we're like, we used to grade her food, bro. So we'd be like, my father would be like, C-. Mikey, like, give it a B. I'd be like, F. And then, dude, like, on Sunday or something, she'd be like making a homemade sauce, fucking in the kitchen for like 10 hours, dude. We're like, A+. It's like, it's really how much like love and time you put into it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's why, like, you know, those, like, I think of like my grandma. She's from Italy. I think Sicily. Actually, I gotta be specific. But she's Sicilian. But
Still Italy?
Yeah. So, but don't tell her that. I mean, well, rest in peace. But don't tell her that when she was kicking. So she'd make like these like, you know, she'd spend all day. Like, you know, you guys have seen like the fuck. I don't know if you guys have the grandmothers yourself that like have 4,000 cans of sauce and like they'd made it like months before. Like, you know, they're making the pasta themselves. Like everything. It's like a month-long process.
Raviolis on Christmas. We'd make
exactly.
like a couple hundred raviolis.
And it's incredible. It's always so good. And I think, you know, a piece of that's like kind of like driven by like the heart. Like like they worked for, but it's also like the food's just fucking better when you make it like that. So it's like it's both. It's like you really feel like they put their time into it and it's good. You know? Well,
that's what we try to do, and like we're big on like quality control. Like we want to make sure. Like, I bet there's people that have gotten a sandwich that wasn't perfect from us, and, like, I'm hoping it's still enjoyable. But, like, sometimes you get a piece of chicken that's not as tender, or like, it might, like, the bread might break a little while we're wrapping up the sandwich or something. Like, stuff happens when you're going quick. But we try to put in systems that, like, we ensure everything is, like, coming out the same so that when you come back and get that, like, I've gone to places and, like, even Cava. Like, I go to Cava, I get a good meal one day, I'm like, that was bomb, and then the next time, like, we went a couple weeks ago, I loved it, and then I went the other night, and I was like, this is ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, sometimes so I don't want that to happen to us.
Is Cava the Greek Chipotle?
Yeah, it's honestly fire, bro.
I go there all the time. Like, sometimes you get, like...
I did go, too, like, one time, though, in Woburn, they had this, like, lamb meat, right? And it's shredded lamb, and it's, like, cooked down and everything, and then I went one time, and the lamb looked fucking terrible. And I was like, yeah, let me get the lamb. And then he started pulling it up. I'm like, actually, nah. I go, who made that? Like, someone, like, new working there or something?
Well, you know, they're not going to put as much attention and care into it when it's such a big corporation like that. Like, they're a public company. They're trying to...
The guy said to me, he's like, yeah, like, they fucked that shit up today. He's like, I wouldn't go... He's like, stick with the chicken, bro. I was like, all right, word.
Yeah, I feel like another thing with you guys' food. This is my biggest complaint with Paisani. I took down a drunken parm.
Yep.
I didn't fucking move the rest of the day. Is there any remedy for eating a drunken parm?
Eat half now, save half later.
Yeah.
That's what we tell everyone because you're paying for a sandwich, but
you're paying for your night. Me and my dad, I brought him.
You can get 2 meals.
It was our first time going. Or maybe my second time, but I brought my dad for the first time, and I was like, and he just parked, like, go get it for him. He's like, leave him a tip. And I was like, all right, so I leave you guys a tip.
Give him a 5 spot.
Seriously, he's like, spot those guys 5, they work hard. Like, something like that. Classic, always someone working hard.
Yep.
And so I get him, you know, and like, you guys, I forget, I think it was Mike was working the truck. He was like, you gotta get the arancini too. I was like, fuck, it's killing your tip, but fine. And then so I take the food, we go back to the house, we sit on the couch. Huge mistake.
Yeah.
Put on the golf.
Yeah.
Huge mistake. And then
disease kicking.
We just slowly start mucking, right? And we ate the arancini on the way home, no cap. But we start mucking this food, and Jim Nance is just speaking to me in the background. We all of a sudden, like 4 hours went by. Me and my dad woke up. We were like, what the fuck?
I bet you felt great after.
Yeah, I felt like $1 million, but it was 8 p.m. and I had eaten one thing that day. Didn't eat the rest of the day. It's the most. That's what to me. That's a great meal. Like that's what I want to eat.
That's when I grew up. Sundays, like we're like, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's eat and let's just unbuckle the belt, chill. Yes. Everyone's falling asleep.
Yep.
And you know, So like we try to offer some lighter options and stuff too. Like if you eat a caprese, you're not gonna like. Yeah, you're not gonna feel like that. If you eat like the Hogan, you're not gonna feel like that. But with the drunken, it's like you got heavy cream in that sauce, you got mozz, you got grana padano, you got fried cutlets. Yeah, it's
fat
heavy.
Piece of bread too.
But when you take a bite of that thing, like it's so good. Serious. I haven't had it in a while.
I'm dead serious. Like it's the best one I've ever had. Because with other places, I'd say the quality of like the materials is like similar at Bob's, but I feel like I don't know what the fuck they like don't make it with as much like care about proportions and like it's just like
a lot of
perfect amount of bread
like,
and cheese.
I don't know if Bob's like breads their own cutlets or not.
They do, yeah.
But
it's good stuff.
A lot of places use
it's so sloppy now. You know,
fell off a bit.
Also, I like a thin cut, like a sandwich cut, like a chicken parm cutty. Like if I'm making a tray of chicken parm, I like it thin still. But like if I go to a restaurant, I don't mind if it's a little thicker. Yeah, because I'm eating it like with a fork and knife. But when I get into a sandwich, I want it to be like almost like translucent. Like
yes.
I like it.
That's so exactly.
I like a little meat in some pieces, but I don't mind if I get a bite that's like almost tastes like it's just like crunch.
Oh yeah.
Because that adds texture to it. It just like I call them sandwich cutties. I just think I make them a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cutting them like. They're almost like the chicken breasts almost see-through.
Almost see-through, translucent.
But then guess what? We bread them up. We can load 3 or 4 of them on there, and then you got like a stacked sandwich.
Yes.
A great cross section. But when you bite it, it's not like you're like pulling it apart. It's like you're biting through that thing, and it's an easy mouthfeel and just.
It reminds me of like you guys ever go to Tessie's in.
I haven't, bro.
The burger bar.
No.
Oh.
Nah, the roast beef
joint.
Dude, I haven't.
You haven't been there.
Nah, it's crazy.
Bro, what?
Is it in Andover?
I didn't know about it, bro. While I was in
you didn't know about
I think I have been there.
I haven't been.
Dude,
do Merrimack kids go there?
This beef, this beef, dude. This beef is ridiculous. It's huge. And that talk about being out cold. This is the super beef.
I love that shit.
I've eaten 2.
I could eat 5 super beefs, bro. Like actually,
actually, we went to the Alamo that time. What did we get? 2 beefs and 2 gyros.
Yeah, I put down a super beef in like 45 seconds, bro.
They just melt.
Well, that's true. You can eat them fast, but I'm telling you, I eat. Like your brother eats. Yeah. Like we eat. Mike's never done 2. I did 2 one time, almost fell apart. Yeah. Like I almost wasn't. I'm happy I'm here today because of whatever the fuck I was doing that day. Because I had 1.5, and the other person wanted 1.5, but then they didn't have the other half, and I was like, let's make history. And I picked it up. You know, like once you pick up a sandwich, for me, I don't put it back down. No.
Burrito, can't.
What's that?
I might
put it down for like a second, take a sip of water, then I'm right back.
Yeah. Also, anyone who has like the fries or the chips first is crazy.
I'm
crazy.
Sometimes I do though if I know I'm gonna finish the whole thing. Does that make sense?
Well, I do like sometimes I'll take. I usually go bite of the sandwich, couple of chips, bite of the sandwich, and depending, like I'm not gonna put chips on a chicken parm, but if I have any cold sandwich, fucking load it.
Load it with chips.
That's 100%. Our next truck, we want to do a deli truck. So it'd be like you walk up to the window. It's like you can customize a sandwich. Almost like a deli. Like we're gonna have slicers on the truck, and it's gonna be potato chips and sandwiches. That's it. And it's gonna be like we're gonna have an option where it's like, do you want to add your chips to your sandwich?
Let's just say
the cello special.
That's fine. The cello. Let's say money's not a barrier. Let's keep this in reality somewhat, but let's say money's not a barrier. What's
That's
like
unrealistic, but
I know. Like let's keep
that's
like
the only barrier.
the breadth of it in reality, but like let's just keep that out of the equation. What would you guys want to do, like with the Paisani truck, with the new truck? Like, what's like the next step, the step after? What's like the end goal? I want to know like what like the perfect route is if like the money all added up.
So we want to get into developing more trucks, but the only way to do that is to get into our own space. So depending on where you are and like what you do, the truck business can be more profitable, like in terms of profit margins and everything. But so we want to get into a storefront first. That's the goal. We're starting to plan that out now to try to be in a storefront by 2025. Even if that store is not necessarily like open 7 days a week or whatever, like we have the truck to supplement the income.
Would it be like the Paisani store?
Yeah.
All right.
Imported Italian goods, pre-made foods. Like there's a place in Canton called Alfredo's. It was started in Quincy, but you can walk in there and you can get like Cavatelli's, like in the freezer section, they have like Cavatelli's, lasagna, chicken parm, like already made, and like a lot of people go
Lola's does a good job of that. You know, Lola's
I don't.
So it probably wouldn't be like it would depend on like our kitchen setup, but we'd have to see. It's all about the space, because if you're doing that, you got to have like a whole little factory in the back doing that stuff. So it's like we need a kitchen that's going to be able to support a storefront open, let's say 9 hours a day, like 11 to 7 or something, or 8. That we're doing sandwiches, imported goods, pastas. So we want to expand the menu a little bit. It's not going to be crazy like a Greek pizza joint where you have a 5-page menu and you can get anything and you can
that shit pisses me off.
Small menus is the key.
But this is the thing, like those places, they're fine. I don't mind. Like I'll grab a chicken Caesar wrap or whatever. But the amount of product they're putting out and the amount of space they're in, it's impossible to make everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Because it's just you can't. So they're buying chicken tenders from Cisco and then throwing marinara sauce that they're buying. Not all of them. I'm just saying, like, a lot of the generic. You know what I'm talking about.
If you have a massive
everyone
menu,
knows what kind of joint I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like, we used to go to this place, G&G's Quick Bite in Lowell. It's actually just in Drake.
I know that place.
Dude, fucking
you get
the menu's forever. It's a 150 item menu.
But you get the raw calzone 90% of the time.
You can get a salmon.
Yo,
at 3
that's
a.m.
crazy,
from Quick
bro.
Bite. I'm like,
don't tell me you did that.
What I will tell you
is
it's an interesting taste at 3 a.m. But it's you can get anything you want. You can get fucking whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, this has to be money laundering, because there's no way you can store, buy, and get all this stuff properly. You know.
So we probably do like a menu with like 10 sandwiches. We'd probably rotate them sometimes. We'd probably
couple
do like
pastas or something.
Yeah, create your own. Like there's this place in Jackson Market we went to in LA a lot when we were there, and you just fill out a piece of paper and you check off boxes of what you want. We'd probably do something like that. We'd love to make our own bread. That's something we'd love to do, but you need a bread oven. You need one
baker.
You need one guy on there.
Yeah.
You need someone on there 24/7.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard to do, and you need a legit walk-in bread oven that you just put racks of dough and that you're cooking. But that's what we want to do. I mean,
that'd be fire though.
So like a Jersey Mike's.
That's an attraction itself.
Like a Jersey Mike's-esque type of place, but with like more like imported goods and like just a little bit more freshness and like there's always gonna be fresh cutties and stuff like that.
And then just like a bunch of trucks, kind of like rooted off of it.
So the whole point is like it needs to be able to we need to be able to grow out of this place. So the goal is to get into a place like this, and then we can like start to develop more trucks. So it has the space to support 2-3 trucks, and then we can, if we have to get a second storefront or just a place that we fucking start prepping food out of, then that's something we do 5-6 years down the road, and we can continue.
When you
to
have
that
3
way.
more trucks, a storefront that's pretty successful, and then you got a lot more like, I guess, brand recognition too that way, and then you could support a 4th truck, because if you guys had 4 trucks right now, I mean, low key you might be able to fucking pull it off if you had enough people, but like in terms of like people coming to your truck, but like you want to make sure that enough people know about and want Paisani to where. But I wonder, in the food truck space, like, how important is it that like someone like knows and wants Paisani specifically, as opposed to like just having a good design truck and just someone walking by it and being like, I'll try it.
It's actually crazy how in Boston, at least, it's definitely not this way in like LA or Florida, like, because the food truck scene out there is huge. In Boston, there's only like 20-30 food trucks.
Yeah.
And
not even
really. There are, but like there's like 10 main ones that like regularly show up to all these places, like the Greenway or SOA. But if you like, people know who you are before they get there. 90% of the people do that. And then we worked at
it's not like typical street vending where it's like, oh, I'm walking by, I'll grab something quick. No. It's like okay, we know they're open these hours. We're going there today. We get a ton of calls. Are we going to be open today?
It's like a restaurant.
We worked at City Hall, dude.
Because it's specific spots in Boston.
That's true.
We worked at City Hall, and there was thousands of tourists that walked by us every single day. None of them stopped. We were like, oh, this spot could be good. It was like our first day there. There's so many people walking by. Like, this is going to be awesome. Nobody stopped. They know where they're going. They have an itinerary. Like, everyone's on their way to Faneuil Hall Marketplace and fucking...
They're saving the money for a North End dinner.
Bozos who fucking put the Sharpie writing on your hat or something. What's that place called?
I don't know. It's like
Moby Dick's.
Is that what it is?
Dick's. Dick's Last Resort.
yeah, I think that's it.
Bro, they're fucking
my Dick's on its last resort.
Yo.
But yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
not
yeah,
on.
it's Boston's crazy for food trucks because it's just like there's specific spots we gotta like people don't understand too. Like we gotta pay like 10% of our revenue to go to these spots.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like
wait, of the revenue, or like is that just like a ballpark?
of all no, it's like of all
10%
sales.
of it goes to them.
Yeah.
Just to be there.
Bingo.
So it's like you think you look up if you looked up on Google right now the average margin of a food truck, it's like 10%.
Interesting.
Average. So it's like yeah, I honestly think we could go up in our prices if we wanted to, just because we try to charge the most competitive price we can because we don't want people to feel like they're overpaying for something.
Yeah.
But with the amount of food you're getting and everything and all the labor that goes into it, like LaGrasse's probably puts just as much time into each sandwich, and they're charging like $30. I get it; they have a bigger reputation.
How much is a sandwich even at the Paisani truck? Like how much is like a typical sandwich? I
right
don't
now,
remember.
like $16.50 for a drunken.
Yeah, dude, you can
16, 17 bucks.
Well, that's not like
You can 1950 that.
No, I mean, you can 1950 that bitch.
You could easily 1950 that.
But it's just like when
Dude,
you,
difference
at the
for
end of
me,
the year.
difference between 1650 and 1950, it doesn't exist. I'm giving you guys 20 regardless.
Well,
basically.
that's what we talked about, and it's like we don't want to be screwing people over just because they like our food and then we know they're gonna buy it. But at the same time, it's like we got a business that we need to create higher margins because like at the you work your ass off and like we're doing okay, like we're profiting, but it's by the end of the year you're like holy shit, like I thought we were gonna have more. Like,
we did all that work.
That's just how business is. But then you get tax write-offs and stuff, so that it counterbalances.
Yeah, we went to here, we did this,
There's
we did all
also
this marketing,
so
and
much-
this is how much we
so
made.
many expenses. Like
So many
like
costs
20
that come up.
Bring on the third guy.
What would you guess our monthly expenses are during a busy season?
I don't even want to insult you guys with a guess because I have no
just
fucking
take,
idea.
Just think about it. Like, take a guess.
Fuck. Monthly expenses?
Yeah.
Average, yeah, during the busy season.
Guys,
Just take a guess. You're in sales.
I know, but I'm not.
Just throw a number out there.
Think about what we do. Just throw a number.
All right, how many guys? How many days are you guys out and
It's like
about?
4 days every week.
4 days
Some
every
days,
week.
sometimes 5, sometimes 6, sometimes less because the truck goes down or something.
Shit, dude, this is adding up mentally. I don't like this number. I'm about to spit. 10 grand.
Yeah, 25,000.
And that's
So-
like we're just starting out, so it's like
And that's like average. So it's like some months are more, some months are less. Sometimes we have to pay 10 grand to get the truck fixed.
Yeah,
So,
I was
so
just
it's like
thinking that
you
too.
gotta have money on hand, and it's like we don't pay ourselves that much because we need to have money available to fix these things and to do these things. So it's like being a young entrepreneur, especially in the food business, is not easy.
Yeah,
it's a grind. But like we're trying to like there's a book I read called E-Myth, and it's like when people that start businesses work in their business, they get drained, and then it ends up most of the time not succeeding because they're working so much in it and on it. So it's like we're trying to be more like obviously to start you got to grind. Like we don't mind grinding. Like we're still working on the truck and shit.
You guys work.
But if we want to grow and have a storefront and say we have 3 storefronts, like we're North Shore, South Shore, Boston, and then like 3 trucks. There's no way we can.
let me just cut my body in half.
Yeah. So we're trying to get better at like working on the business. So we do like weekly meetings and like just come up with things we can do to like come up with processes and systems that would be easy to train people and like figuring out how can we go find people to work and like find reliable people and how can we train them to do what we do and produce at the efficiency that we do. Because when me, Tommy, and Ryan are on the truck, we're going to make more money than if 3 random people are on the truck.
100%.
Like, not random people, but say we hire 3 new people, train them, after a month we send them out on the truck. Because it's just, one, we have more passion for it because it's ours. So like we're like, let's get this out quick, let's make sure everything's good. Like I mean, there's been times where I just get a chicken cutlet and it just feels a little thick to me. And I just have a weird intuition and I cut it in half and it's just like the tiniest little sliver of pink and I throw it out and I go, we need more chicken because my worst fear is like serving somebody raw chicken.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So that's also why we like to cut it thin.
Yep.
But
So you know.
it's like if someone that we just trained for a month, we would try to train that into them. But you go to Chipotle, you go to all these places, like you see
There's bozos sometimes.
like
But that's why it's so important to build a culture. So it's like when you take on people, like we try. Tommy quit his job to work with us.
And Tommy is
He's the
man,
bro.
He is the
He's
nicest
our
guy.
guy.
I've
You
met in
know
my
what I
life.
mean? So
Yeah.
it's like
He literally is.
One of the best dudes I've ever met in my life.
yeah.
If you
Aside
show up
from
5 minutes earlier every time,
aside from like anything to do with the food truck or the business, like Tommy's literally fucking one of the best people in the whole world.
Yeah, easily.
right?
So it's an easy.
But
thought.
we're not gonna have the luck of having 10 Tommies for our next 10 employees. You know,
Right.
we actually got Murph coming on with us.
Yeah.
I mean,
So talking about good guys, right?
You know? Murph's
No,
coming
but
on.
everybody that's worked for us has done an unbelievable job, and you know, all we really care about at the end of the day is obviously the product, but like more importantly, it's the people that work for us. Because I've worked many jobs. I've worked 2 jobs at once. If I dreaded going there or didn't like my boss or what, it was just it's life sucked.
Yeah.
So it's like we want to make sure anybody that's working for us, one, is being compensated financially enough where that they feel comfortable doing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. 2, like
They want to be a part of something.
exactly
Because
like,
it
they want to be a
also-
part of it. They have a say in everything. Like
Yeah.
Tommy, we have Tommy in these meetings. He has a say in everything. Like he's coming up with new sandwiches right now. We try to give him tasks to like work more like on the managerial side of things, so that when we do expand, he can like run a truck on his own. And that's kind of a goal too that we're working up to. And then it's hopefully like a guy like Murph, we can get him to that same space.
Yeah.
And then we build a team where it's like, okay, we're the directors. Now we're delegating roles to other people, just like any business.
That you know are good. Too.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. Like I know you're saying like the odds you're gonna run into 10 Tommy Southwicks is slim. But with like the network that you guys have, it's like. It's not the craziest ask. Like I know Tommy Southwick's an anomaly of a human, and even within our circles of people. But like, think about like you're telling me that if Paisani wasn't going great, you don't have Mike Palmer as a worker.
Oh yeah, I'll have him in a couple of years.
That's a guy. Like Mike's a fucking worker.
Oh,
no
yeah,
one
he is.
works as diligently as he does, and I've met everybody, and no one does what he does.
Facts.
He's a beast.
And he's also like super reliable, and I think that like you have a group of guys that you could like slowly pick off as like as you grow. You have to find something that equals their opportunity, or at least is like maybe a better alternative. Like Tommy, you had an alternative that was appealing. Like Mike's a fucking nurse.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he loves it. But like you can find it, you can get it. To
Hey, he only works 3 days a week. He's got 4 from Paisani.
Yeah, true. But like you can make it appealing enough where he doesn't even have to do it.
Yeah.
And then I think there's other guys too, like even the guy like Scotty, who's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
The man.
he's great with people.
Yep.
So good at meeting people. Like if you need someone to go to like an events for you, like you got another guy. So I feel like with the network you guys have built as like your friends, you'd be shocked at how many of them are actually good enough. And talk about being invested in a brand. The brand is you two. No one's more invested in you two than your friends already are. Yeah. That's why like a guy like Tommy's so committed with this, even though like maybe with something else, like we might think that he's a lock all the time, but maybe with something else he was like, I don't give a fuck about this. I don't give a fuck about this brand. You guys are the brand. So it's I don't know. I think that there's like that whole concept of like getting 10 guys like Tommy, it's hard, especially as you get bigger and you need 20, 30, 40. I think your base is going to be so fucking solid
It is.
in a couple of years.
I think it's more so like when you do run into people down the road that you have part-time workers, kids in high school. It's like whatever job you worked in high school, did you love what you did? Like, did you care about what you were doing?
So,
like,
how's that sales?
So so it's like when you're there, like personally, like I love working in sales for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then it's like I worked my fucking ass off in there. Yeah. And like I tried to do everything the right way. And on our truck, we're trying to have it so that people care about our product, about our brand, and like the way things are to the customer, so that like they're gonna fucking work their ass off for us. And the only way they're gonna do that is if they think that we care as much about them as they should care about our product.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And and like obviously like we have a great base of friends that have been helping us and everything, but there's gonna become a point, like you said, when we start scaling, where it's like we might have to post on Indeed and we're gonna have to hire people based on interviews, and it's like I'm a pretty good judge, like a judge of character for people, but you never know. Like you get that person that might, you don't know what's going on in their life either. They could be maybe skimming some off the top out of the cash drawer or something like that. Like just little things, but not even just that. It's like you have to take care of your people. I read another book called something hospitality. Why can't I think of the name?
I know.
It's about 11 Madison Park, the restaurant in
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Unreasonable Hospitality. And so it's all about, like, it's a Michelin star restaurant. They turned it into a Michelin star restaurant, and it's all about just taking care of your people, because you got to make sure that you're, like, that's the biggest investment. Like, one, labor cost is one of our biggest expenses, but it's not just an expense, it's an investment, because we're investing in Tommy's future with us. And just whatever knowledge we can bring to him or he can bring to us. Like, he's working at a restaurant right now for the winter, and he's taking notes for us, because, like, I never worked in a kitchen, so I don't know.
Really? You never worked in a kitchen?
No, I've watched every YouTube video I could to, like, learn about it. Yeah. But no, I never worked in a kitchen in my life, and we just started making sandwiches and selling them. But, like, to get the little nitty gritty details of, like, a French style kitchen, to, like, make our processes easier or anything, like, these kind of things that he's going to bring to the table for us as well are insane. Like, he's a smart kid, and he's a wicked hard worker. He'll work for us and then go work there at night, and, like,
and he's, like, so invested. And so that we're trying to make it to a point where we can have, everyone's not going to be as invested. Other people have things going on in their lives.
Yeah.
Some people are just looking for part-time work, and that's fine. But, like, when you are working, you want those people to be, present, and they want the best for your product and your company.
And, like, make sure that, they're locked in on, like, the same goal that you guys got, to grow, and, like, to make sure that, like, you're providing the best service.
And if it's a growth opportunity for them that's going to help them get to a career that they want down the road, then that's totally fine. Like, if they want to be, a manager at some hedge fund firm or something, and they're in college and they're looking for part-time work, and they want to start learning about the manager side of things, and it's like, okay, in a couple of years from now, hopefully we can have something
I don't know if we're quite a hedge fund.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a bizarre example.
Yeah, but, like, no,
it was the first thing that came to my mind.
Like, think about it, like, with you guys, or, like, with myself, I guess, is a different example, because you guys actually work in, like, food. So I was gonna say you with Sal's, but, like, me with, like, Salvatore's, I was not great at the job. I worked really hard, obviously, because that's just, like, the habits I was trying to build towards. Like, I had other goals. There's no world where I end up in a restaurant. That's never going to be my thing, unless I own it accidentally. But, like, I'm not going to end
accidentally.
up... Yeah, it's that much paper.
That's a big accident, bro.
I know. But, like, I'm not going to, like... That's just never my goal. But I gave it everything I had because I had other goals that drove me. So if you can find people that are very goal-oriented, even if it's not Paisani or restaurant related, it's like, even if you're, like, means to an end, like, if they're gonna get to that end, like, you might as well be part of their process.
But it's like, we're gonna have to, like, if we open a storefront, we're gonna need, like, probably six or seven people in there in the kitchen at all times, because we're gonna have to be prepping for the truck, we're gonna have to be prepping for the storefront, making sandwiches, having someone on the cash register, so it's like, we're gonna have to hire people that we don't know. So it's like, you got to do the interview process, hire them, and then you got to try to get them to stick around. And to do that, I think you just have to take care of them. Like, I've always, like, I'll throw some extra cheddar to our people.
The cheddar.
No, but seriously, like, I'll throw a couple extra bucks or round up or whatever if I know that they're working hard. Like, if I see somebody slacking off and, like, if anyone, luckily we haven't had this, but, like, if I'm getting any attitude or anything, like, I'm not gonna, like, pay them less, but it's like,
you're counting to the cent.
But if I see somebody that's, like, going out of their way to make sure that the service is better, or to make sure, I have no problem, like, giving them extra money for what they're doing as, like, a little bonus. Just like, if I, like, at the jobs I worked, I used to bust my ass, and, like, Blue Hills Country Club, I worked there forever, and they would let me play golf all the time because I worked my ass off. They let me play golf all the time. I could bring 3 friends, 2 cards, we go play. It was unbelievable. It was like I had a membership. I canceled my membership in my other course because I basically had a membership there.
That's sick.
And I was making like $15 an hour, but in tips. So I was making decent money there too with tips. And eventually they got bought by a Concert Golf corporate company. They brought in a ton of new members. They were all like young families, didn't tip, didn't know how to golf, tore up the course, and it just went to shit. And like I ended up not being able to play till like 5:30, and then half the time I wasn't even allowed to. Yeah. I didn't have all the privileges I had before, and that ruined the experience for me. I said, this isn't worth it anymore. I'm getting $20 in tips a day when I used to get 100, and then I wasn't being able to play golf. I couldn't bring all my friends to golf. It's like that's what made me want to work there. That's the kind of environment that I want to bring to the table to somebody working for us. Go. You got to take a phone call. Like, go take a phone call. We'll pick up your slack here. Or, oh, you need an advance on your pay for rent. Like, yeah, I know you've been working your ass off here. Or
Christmas bonuses.
Yeah, we'll take him to we took Tommy out last year to. We're gonna do it again this year. We took him to a Celtics game for Christmas.
I know, and the whole night was crazy.
Yeah,
they are crazy.
The whole night was on us, and we just had a time all together. And
went to Stanza.
But it was as much as it was for us. It was for him though, because he took a chance on us. We want to make sure that he
wants to stick around.
Yeah, it's not just like. Oh, Tommy showed up to work and then go home and we're not ever talking again. It's like no, we want to be part of it. We want to be. Yeah, right now we have all our friends working for us and we're all family now. But it's like I want to hire random people that then become our family too.
Yeah, because you never know. Like someone you hire, think about at Salvatore's, they hire you. I don't know if you knew anybody going in there, but they hire you. They see how good you are. And, obviously things have changed over there now. But, at the time, you were, a guy in there. And then they bring in all your friends. And they bring in Mike. And they bring in all his friends. It's you can really start to build, their network. You find someone you trust, find their...
And the other thing is, the reason that all happened at Sal's was because it was a spot that, whoever was working in there, Tommy referred me, he enjoyed his time there at the time. You know what I mean? He liked what he did. He made good money. He was taken care of. He got fed free food. Then he's like, yo, Palmer, come work. And I was like, all right, word. And then I liked what I did. And it just, trickles down. And then all of a sudden you have 25 people applying at your restaurant. And you have 25 reliable people that are ready to work.
Hiring is the toughest thing. But we actually did, a training in our... for my work, I do sales, so it's a little different, obviously, because we're always thinking all right, dude, how does this relate to me driving business, Yeah. But they sat us down, they had us do a whole 2-day training on customer service, which is kind of against what we do, because if we care too much about the customer, we ain't gonna drive no business, because you just wouldn't call someone randomly in the middle of the day if you cared that much, whatever. But that's just how it is. But when it comes to that stuff, it's saying they asked what's the biggest barrier to having great service, and we all thought hiring. It's well, you don't really know who you're hiring, and they're as true as that seems, you can hire someone that's pretty good, and they can either go one way or the other. That's on you. So it's you need to make sure you're training them to feel this way, build the culture to where that's the only thing that's acceptable, and they won't do it otherwise. And that's a huge. The training and culture is 70%, and the hiring is just the other 30, if that, And I think that was pretty eye opening, because sometimes you think it's oh, we hired the wrong guy. It's hey, maybe your training's got to change, you know? You guys have a culture so easily. Yeah, Tommy's the balls, and he was your friend. He was going to do the work. We knew that, but culture put him in the right direction. It's just you guys grinding on the fucking truck. You love it so much. And that's your training is just super one-on-one. Makes sense he ends up being the balls.
Exactly.
And Murph, same thing. He's going to be the same thing.
That's what we're going to continue to do.
Do that with everybody. Even if it's not your friend.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. And to relate it to another book that I read, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
Are you? This guy's a fucking savant.
So related to another book, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Basically, that book's about, he takes his military training, and he was a leader in the military. And it's he's got people's lives on his line every call he makes. And it's he will never blame anybody else for somebody dying or for somebody doing something in during war. And it's just it's how did I mess up for that to happen? Because it's you hear people all the time, and I hear people that are successful and oh, this person just screwed me. It's they did this to me and this, and it's you're playing that victim mindset when it's a lot of the brainiacs that do that too. It's they think that they have everything down to a T, and it's everyone else's fault if something goes wrong. But what he does in that book, he has a company now. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but he goes to big Fortune 500 companies, smaller companies, and they pay him to do workshops, and he finds who, like, he finds the weak links in the company and he trains people on, like, extreme ownership. It's like, the higher you are up and the more responsibility you have to take ownership over the people that are below you. Like, if Tommy does something wrong or if anything, it's not his fault.
We didn't teach him the right
unless
way.
he specifically had a vendetta against us and someone did. You know what I mean? But it's like, if he doesn't do something right, it's either we didn't give him enough detail on what to do. We didn't show him the right way.
We didn't provide him with the right tools.
Maybe he was trying to go out and do it himself without asking us, and then he messed something up, or it's like that's on you again, because it's like you gotta make sure that you're clear that you can come to us with anything.
Is that his is he like token that idea of like extreme accountability or whatever?
What, Jocko Willink?
Yeah.
I know that's one of his books. His other book.
I feel like I've like either read something about that or whatever, and like that's 100% like the way that I think.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, to me, like I don't even know what extreme this guy goes to, but for me, it's like anything that happens in your life, you need to be able to take control.
Yeah.
Like and say like that's.
You can't have a victim
in a weird way. It's on
that.
me. It's my fault, but like you can't think of fault as like a bad thing. It's like it's my fault. All right, now what? What can I do instead? You know, something is happening to you. It's like
What did Jordan say?
What did that guy say?
What did MJ say?
What are you talking about?
No, he says I don't know if it's the exact quote, but he says, "You're not succeeding if you're not failing."
Yeah, or whatever. Like Kobe with like missing
that Jordan quote where he's like, "Your mother."
That guy's fucking mother's ugly.
But it's just
a sick quote. But you need to be able to take accountability of basically everything. Because if you don't, then like you're letting other things have control over you. It's like when when someone complains about like a friend that like is like bugging them or something. I'm like, shut up. It's your friend.
Yeah.
That's your not saying you can't diss your friend, but it's like don't act like it's not your fault that you're friends with this person.
Yeah.
Or that, like, if you're letting something they're doing bother you, like, that's also your fault. Maybe it shouldn't bother you. Or whatever.
Or it's like...
It's your life. You designed it. It's your person.
That's why I like that book so much, because I think it relates to every aspect of life.
Totally.
I was so bad about, like, taking accountability in high school, too. And, like, going into college. Fucking just, like, getting fucked up and, like, coming home and being like, oh, yeah, like, making excuses for myself and, like, to my parents or whatever. And, like, that is definitely one of the things that I've tried to grow on most, and just be like, all right, I need to fucking, I fucked up, like, I'm sorry, I gotta deal with the consequences.
That's on
now.
me.
You know what I mean? But like in high school, oh, forget about it. Like I would be like,
oh
yeah, the cloud. Yo, we won't get into that here, but dude, like it was just so bad. But no, I think like one of the things I hate about is when fucking people complain about something, and all they need to do to change what's happening to them is just speak up about it.
Just address it.
Yeah, so it's like, instead of being like, oh my god, like, I'm waking up, my brother's fucking, he's going into his job at like 6 o'clock and he's making mad noise in the morning. And then he's gonna get home at fucking 7 at night and I'm gonna be pissed off at him when I could have just told him like, yo, can you just try to keep it down in the morning?
Yeah.
It's like, it's that easy sometimes.
It really
People
is.
don't do that shit.
They'd rather complain about it.
Yeah.
They'd rather just complain about it. I don't know what that is.
Having a business, I think we've both gotten better at, like, I mean, I've always had my own, like, little businesses growing up. Like, I used to string lacrosse sticks. I used to paint Xbox controllers. I used to...
You were a lemonade stand kid, weren't you?
Yeah. Yo, I was a lemonade stand kid.
So was I. I drove by a lemonade stand the other day. I was on the other side of the road. 180 came back. I dropped 20 in this kid's mitts. He was fucking electric.
Dude,
he was like, it was 25 cents. He was like, went to the mom was like, thank you. I was like, but like,
it's just like
inspire that type
I've
of
always
mindset.
tried to, like, I've always been a capitalist. Like, how can I take this money? Like, I'd literally, like, go buy materials and then, like, go around and, like, make money off of, like, random things.
Yeah.
And, like, I tried dropship. I've tried everything. Like, in college, I tried multiple things.
Stripping.
I used to fix people's iPhone screens at lunch and in studies. Like, I would charge like $80. I think it was $100 at the mall at the time. And the guy at the Verizon store, I was like 14, and I would go there and I'd be like, yo, let me buy some screens off you. And he would sell me the screens, and then I'd go into school, and I had a little toolkit, and I would fix people's iPhones.
That's insane.
And then, so I just always had that mentality. So then I went to school for mechanical engineering, and I was like, this shit is like it wasn't that hard, like, in college, and I was just like, And then I did a couple internships. I'm like, I can't do that. I don't want to do this.
Classic.
I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, I don't want to do this. So like, I almost just stopped at one point. I was just like having anxiety about it, and like, I was like, I just know I'm not going to end up doing this. Like, why don't I just go start something? So then me and Ryan got talking, and like, he was doing a job that he wasn't like passionate about.
Fuck my fucking corporate finance, bro.
So
like,
we're like, screw it. Like,
sucked.
We're like,
I just like the people I work with. That was the only reason like the job wasn't.
Classic.
I don't want to fucking kill myself with the job, but dude, like I feel like that is a huge thing in like corporate work. You gotta have like a good team of people. If you don't have good people, then it's like,
it's all
do
about
you
the
really
people.
fucking, do you really fucking like what
Always
you're
is.
doing?
Yeah,
Always
I mean,
people.
I don't. My job, like, it's not like I'm fucking like. If I don't get down trace into these people's hands, like I'm gonna lose my mind. It's like obviously I want to make my money, but like, and it's a lot of it's commissions, half and half salary commission. So I need to sell it. It's like proper motivation, but it's really what gets me like to go into the office on like 3-4 days a week, whatever, is the coworkers. It's like those 15 minutes where we go play pool instead of make a call. You know, like that's the good stuff.
And for us, it's like we don't want to let each other down at all.
Yeah,
so it's like. That's why a lot of people say like it's tough being in business with your friends, but like the relationship we have, like we balance well, and then it's also like I would never want to let him down, he would never want to let me down, so it's like neither of us are gonna slack off, and
right?
Like we're both gonna be striving to be better, and like another thing you don't have anybody, like there's not a single person that tells us what to do. So it's like if we want to get the business better, or we want to grow, or if we want to make a new sandwich or whatever we do, it's all on us. We got to figure out the schedule for it. We got to figure out what time we got to get up in the morning, what time we got to go to, like, it's like everything we do is like, it's not like be in the office by 8, you got a meeting at 12. It's like, we make those meetings. We make those things to keep ourselves on track. So you learn a lot of responsibility just through having a business, I think.
Yeah, especially with somebody else. And it's like honestly for me, like when you say that, what comes to my mind is like going to the gym. It's like, so much easier to go to the gym when you have like a gym buddy that like will drag you on the days you don't want to be there.
College, too.
Yeah, it's like one guy's feeling it one day, the other guy ain't.
I'm getting it back though.
Like like your brother, like Mike was like, "No, we're going to the gym today." Yeah. I'm a 2-day. I'm lucky to get in there 2 days a week, and I'll be like, "Yo, Mike, nah, today, no way." And he's like, "Nah, like we're going today." And then like once in a blue moon, I'd feel it, and he wouldn't. I'd be like, I'd go drag him to the gym. It's just like where I had the car, he didn't, whatever. And I think someone to push you on the days that you don't got it is like super, super important, especially if it can't.
Or to
be, like,
pick you up when you can't. Like there's days he's been sick, days I've been sick, and we're both like literally like all day just like, oh my god.
You're there, but like you're not really there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yo,
it's like you have to be there.
If I'm fucking doing something that I normally do that like during that time period, like it might be easier for me than whatever he's doing. It's like, all right, chill, just go fucking take a break. Let me cut the chicken today. You know what I mean?
You go shred.
I actually ended up in the hospital one day.
Yeah.
Did you?
I woke up and I felt like shit, and like just my head was pounding, and I was like, I saw like little black dots and stuff.
Where were
I
we
think I
at?
had a migraine. We were doing the wedding in Ashland.
Oh, it's a wedding too.
So,
no.
So I'm in the morning, I'm prepping, and I can't see my hands. Like I literally couldn't see my hands. And I went to text my mom, and I'm like, yeah, like I can't see things.
He's like, where am I?
So I'm like cutting chicken, and I literally feel like I'm standing up, and I feel like I'm passing out and stuff. So I'm like, I gotta go, boys. Like I'm just like Murph was prepping with us, and I'm like, Murph, can you take the whole day? Like I literally, like I can't do this. So I'd start driving home, which I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And I'm like, I'm on the phone with my mom because I'm like, yeah, Mom, like I just want to be on the phone. Like I literally, like I've never felt this like shitty before. And I ended up projectile vomiting while I was driving and almost crashed, and then made it home. And I was like so dizzy, and like I didn't know this, but my mom called an ambulance, and like I went to the hospital, and I was in there for like a few hours.
You didn't know?
And then they were saying,
didn't you pull over on the highway?
Yeah, because I throw, yeah. But then she was like, no, then the ambulance came and got me. And I was like, I didn't think I needed an ambulance, but she was like freaking out, so I'm like, whatever. So I went, and I was like, I really was like, I didn't know what was going on.
He was fucking out of it, bro.
So I didn't know what was going on. So I only barely remember the ambulance ride. But I get there into the hospital and stuff. Then I remember someone like, one of the doctors like or nurses like freaked out and was like, oh, he's having facial droop. Get the thing. And I'm like, am I having a stroke? I'm like freaking out because I literally thought I was having a stroke because I was like seeing black dots and like my arms were hurting.
What happened?
Like, my hand, I couldn't move. My hands were getting so numb that I couldn't move them. My hands were getting stuck like this, and I couldn't move them. I was like trying to move them. I couldn't move them. And I was freaking out, bro.
And through all this, he's trying to fucking cut chicken curry.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, chill.
What did you have? What was that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. They didn't know. My blood work was fine, so it was like...
Yo, and his mom is like, she's a fucking saint, right? She's mad dramatic.
It must have just been like a bad migraine or something, but it was like, I don't know if because I was in bright lights, I didn't know it was a migraine. I have no idea what it was, dude.
Yo, he's walking around.
Then I ended up tearing my MCL the next week.
He's walking around in prep like this, like... I can't see. And then I'm like, all right, chill.
I wasn't a mummy.
I'm like, chill. Like, go home. Come on, dude. Fucking take the day off. Like, we're good. Work's gonna work and stuff. And then Tommy and I are like, yo, you want one of us to drive you home? And he's like, no, I got it. And then he leaves. And Tommy and I, like, 2 minutes later, we're like, bro, he definitely shouldn't have drove home. And then we're like, fuck. So I have his location. I'm, like, tracking him. Yeah. And, like, I'm trying to, like, make sure he gets fucking home and makes it the whole way. He doesn't. He's on, like, the side. I see him on the side of the highway. And, like, because I was checking, like, every couple of minutes because he was really, like, bad.
Yeah.
I see him on the side of the highway. I call his mom because he wasn't answering my phone. And she's like, oh, he's going to the hospital. He's going to the hospital. Like, I hope he's okay. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, what the fuck happened? Yeah. So now I'm like, I didn't even tell Tommy and Murph because I just needed them to, like, focus. But... like, after the wedding...
You're just, like, seeing all this shit.
Yeah, after the wedding, I was like, yeah, guys, by the way, Minnie actually went to the hospital. He's fine now. Like, but they were like, whoa, what happened? Like, why didn't you tell us? I was like...
your hands, you projectile vomit,
see, like,
seeing black spots.
Yeah, like, I couldn't see the keyboard on the phone. Like, I couldn't see the letters.
Yeah, dude, that's cooked.
So it was like...
something was violently wrong with you.
Yeah, I don't know, but the blood work was okay. They pumped me with a shit ton of stuff, and I started feeling better, but... Yeah, it was just awful.
And then the
next weekend, I slipped at the Broadway and fucking tore my ACL.
Oh, you were at the Broadway?
Yeah.
That's great.
And then my friends, I fell, and then they're like, dude, get up, you're fine. And I'm like, yeah, all right. So I get up, and I couldn't walk.
Well, kid was doing the fucking limbo.
Made it sound like you just slipped.
Yeah, nah, he was doing
I tried to pull it off. I knew he was gonna say it.
He's awesome.
No, I did it once. I did it once, and then I was like, I used to do that shit all the time. I used to fuck around, and like, I've always been weirdly good at it as like a bigger guy. And like, I fucking did it again, and there was booze on the floor, and my left foot just slipped to the left, and my knee dropped straight down. So like, my knee went like that, and so I got up, and it was so swollen. I went home, and I was like, yeah, boys, I'm fucked. They were like, yeah, it's pretty swollen, but like, you should be all right. And I'm like, yeah, like, I'll be fine. So then I sat down on the ground outside. We smoked a joint, and I started freestyling. And I was like freestyling. I was cooked.
Like, damn, I just fucked up my ACL.
Yeah.
Damn, I hope I don't go to hell.
And then the next, they leave. It's like 2 a.m. I sleep downstairs in the basement because I'm like, oh, I can't even go upstairs. So I'm like, I'm just going to get up in the morning. Like, my mom usually sleeps in a little, so I'll get up and go to the hospital, be home before she even knows. And my sister came home at like 3:30 in the morning and was like, what the hell are you doing down here? And I'm like, I messed up my knee. And she looked at it and she goes, ew. Oh, I'm getting mom. You got to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'll go in the morning. And she's like, no, like, she would be pissed right now if she knew you were hurt. So she woke up my mom, and my mom's like, what the fuck happened? So we went to the hospital. The guy told me I was gonna need surgery and 6-month recovery. Like, wouldn't be able to walk for 6 months or something. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, fuck this. Like, so then I ended up going for MRI and stuff. Realized it's like I just got to go to PT and stuff, and it wasn't fully torn, so it was just like a partial tear.
Yeah.
I had like a bunch of little tears. So I've been in PT now for 5 months, and I'm still in PT. And it's like, it's mobile, I can bend it. It's not like, it doesn't hurt all the time, but it still gets like super stiff and like sore sometimes.
That's so fucking awful.
But
then like during that time,
3 months of hell, bro.
There's still you still have Paisani.
That's so I'm managing it from afar with him and like trying to do like whatever I can. Cause I'm like, it was like a big event that week. And
putting him in a wheelchair, having fucking bread.
I couldn't even, I pissed in bags every night. Like, I literally pissed in a bag.
Nah, he pissed in bottles, bro.
No. I needed I needed
a piss corner.
Powerade bottle to get in there.
He had a hose.
He just turns.
Actually, he is the hose.
He just turns a little bit, just pees off the side.
No, that's what I did. No, I swear to God,
dude, I would have had
I had these bags that like Scott got me. My stepfather, he got me these bags that like fill up, they like turn into gel when you piss in them. Because when I would get up to go to the bathroom with the crutches and everything and all the blood hitting it for like 3 weeks, I couldn't sleep because it was so painful. I didn't want to be popping oxys and shit that they gave me. So instead of that, I would lean over, pee, and I could go right back to sleep.
Dude, I would have grabbed, if that was me, I would have grabbed one of those barrels that you see at like the Bills games that they put the fires in.
Yes, yeah.
Just put it right next to my bed, leveled up my bed a little bit, and then just turned to the side and had a piss barrel.
Dude, my dad...
I could have used one of those in college, honestly.
When my dad lived with his ex-girlfriend, I don't know if he wants me saying this, but she got like a little puppy, and it was like, if you got up in the middle, it had a crate in like the living room, it was like a condo in Dorchester, and if you got up in the middle of the night, the thing would not stop barking. So my dad got one of those, like, he took like a milk gallon jug, and he would pee in it every night, and that's how he would go to the bathroom, and then he would just like dump it outside the next day or whatever. And it was just, that's how he peed for like a year.
So he must have drank a lot of milk because I know he was using a fresh one every night.
No, he would just empty it out probably. He'd probably just dump it in the toilet and then like use it again.
So I have like a room in my attic kinda, and like I used to like hang out with my friends up in my attic, whatever. And so like the bathroom's like so far away from the attic. So we just pop open the window. And just piss off the third floor of my house.
Dude, at his house. I was sleeping at his house for a while when we got the truck going, and I would sleep in the basement. And to get up to the bathroom, it would be so creaky. I feel like I'd wake everyone up, and then like by the time I got back down, I'd be like awake.
Yeah,
so I would just open the garage door and just pee.
Yeah, so Mike does now.
Oh yeah, Mike does that. There's nothing better than like going to the bathroom and, you know, not going to your phone or anything while you're going to the bathroom in the middle of the night and just trying to be like a zombie, like as much of a zombie as you can, so that when you can get back to bed, you can
just slip right back into the comatose state. Yep. I like sometimes I'll like wake up ish and like go to the bathroom. I'm really thankful when like I catch myself from peeing in the wrong spot though. Like
sometimes I don't hear anything. I'm like, wait, where am I going?
Yeah, it's like I'm
trying to find the water.
Yeah, I have like the toilet and like my shower's right next to it. And the other day I just like started like getting into my shower and I was just like, this isn't the right spot.
Yo, Mike used to fucking sleepwalk and sleep talk like wicked bad.
No way. Really?
Yeah, bad. He's never told
this.
I don't think so.
No, way worse.
He was probably
bro.
sleeping.
Dude,
not as bad.
He woke up one night and tried to go out the front stairs. And we had to stop him. He also woke up another time and he fucking walked to the hallway, and we were all still up, and he pissed on like the floor right in front of my parents' bedroom.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know about all this.
Dude, he used to sleep talk all the time. I would be like on my fucking iPod or something. He would be chilling there, and then like he'd just be like, I can't get the pizza and the brownies. And I'd be like, what'd you say, Mike? And I would try to provoke him to like get to sleep talk more because he's mad funny.
Yeah.
And like I'd be like, huh? And so I would only give him like one word responses, because if I said something too much, he would either wake up or like he would.
Or you say his name, like he wakes up.
So I'd be like, huh? And he'd be like, where's it?
Yeah. Another Waylon story. He took 2 450 milligram chocolate bars on his birthday one year, like our freshman year, and
he didn't wake up for like 3 days.
I had my car at school, so I was always driving people to get like beers and stuff, and he like saw us driving out, and I saw him, and I rolled down the window. Someone was in the back seat, and he was like leaned in the back seat like this, like looking and talking to someone. I think it was Hick or something. He's just like, he's like, yeah, bro, I'm going to smoke a joint down at Leech Beach, and we're like, what, dude? You look stoned already. He's like, yeah, 2 chocolate bars. And we're like, oh my god, dude, you're cooked. And he's like, yeah. And he started falling asleep in my window.
Yo, he's asleep.
He just starts like falling asleep in my window because I was talking to somebody else like outside the car, and then I'm like, I gotta go drive away, Mark. And he was like, oh yeah, down to Leech Beach.
Yo, first time I ever got baked, right?
Yeah.
I like tried a joint and smoked out of like a water bottle or something, but never got baked for the first like 2 or 3 times I smoked. And then I was in high school. I got some edibles off one of my boys who worked at Sal's, and they didn't work. He made them at home, didn't work. So he's like, all right, fuck it, like I'm gonna get you guys some me and Sammy Reed, he's like, I'm gonna get you guys some medical lollipops.
Oh,
so
shit.
he's like,
some like morphine type shit or weed?
No, weed. And I was like, all right, bro, let's go. Like, that's definitely gonna get me baked. Cause Sammy, one day we like skipped school and we ate fucking 4 of these edibles that he gave us for like $10 a piece. We ate all these and we went to the movies and we're like, we're still not baked, and we just kept eating them. And I was like, fuck, they didn't work. So then he gave us the lollipops. I stayed home from school another time. I used to skip school a lot. Well, no, I was like
skipping Justin.
I used to skip school
Eddie's
all day.
with Sammy Reed.
No, I skipped school and I was waiting upstairs in my brother's closet because I thought I was like paranoid.
Weird.
I thought my mom.
Waiting for me.
No, I thought my mom was gonna come and like check on me because she used to go upstairs and be like, okay, like I'll see you later. Like,
Yeah, right.
or, like why aren't you fucking at school yet or something? Like, and I'd be like, fuck.
You were high.
Yeah,
your mom didn't know you didn't go.
No, she didn't know I didn't go. So I was like, fuck. Like she literally fucking always comes and like checks and like it's like, oh, like get out of bed if you're not fucking at school, whatever. So I was like hiding. I was like mad paranoid. And then I was like, wait a minute. JB fucking gave me those edibles last week. I was like, I'm about to just take one. I have all day to fucking chill. So I went in, I grabbed the edibles from my fucking, from my closet, went back into the closet. I ate half the edible, and then I was like, fuck it, dude. These edibles didn't work the last time. I ate the whole thing. And then I ended up waiting in the closet for like 2 hours, bro. I was like, oh, she's still down there. Like, and I didn't have my phone on me
Your
or
school
anything.
didn't call your mom when you guys didn't go?
Oh, I fucking deleted the messages, bro. No, they called my house phone.
Yeah, but then, so like if we did that, they would like literally like send you mail and be like, you missed this, your kids missed this many days of school, we never heard from you guys.
No, Medford High's a joke.
My mom was mad chill. I'd be like, Mom, like, I just can't today. Like, I'm like, I get good grades. Like, I can't go.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Not me.
And she's like, she would call and be like, Matt's sick today. I'd probably remember 30 days of school a year.
Really?
Yeah.
I was an everyday warrior.
3.8 GPA.
Missed like
never
2
did
days.
homework like at home.
My dad, it was classic. Like my dad, he's kind of easy to read in a weird way. Like he like if he wants to do something nice for you, like you know it's coming. Like so he'd be like talking like, school's gonna suck today, huh? And I'd be like, yeah, yeah. And then he'd be like, nice if like, I wish we could go get breakfast right now. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I know what's happening. And we drive, and he'd do this like every once in a while. He'd bring me to school. We're all the way there. He's got my backpack, and then you know that right turn to get into Medford High, whatever.
Yep.
He'd just stay straight. And go
No
right by
way,
the school. He'd be
dude.
like, we're going to breakfast.
The gingerbread comes back down the
Did
street.
you go to school that day or not?
No school.
Oh,
He'd just drive me right by it, and we go get breakfast, and we'd have a day or whatever. Like
That's
once
lit.
and once, but like I knew it was coming. Like I know it was coming days prior. He'd be like, "You got any tests Friday?" I'm like, yeah, and he's like, "Is it important?" Like, I was like, nah.
He's like, how many?
Yeah, he's like, could you make it up if you missed? I'm like, yeah, like I guess, no big deal.
Like, let's go. I'm not studying.
Yeah, straight up, dude. So that was always fun. But he's the man. My dad's the boss. We'll go golfing soon.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Us 4, us 3, and your dad.
Yeah. What time is it, by the way, mate? Can you check your phone?
1:10.
1:10.
Yeah, I gotta be out of here by 2 at the latest. It's gonna take me like an hour to get back. I gotta be somewhere at 3.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm thinking I asked you guys. What else do I gotta ask you guys? Because I was meaning to. I had like so many questions prepared, and then like I completely forgot all of them.
You want to get Oasis after this?
Oasis?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do that.
I've never been to
unless
Oasis.
we're done with this soon. But
I've never been to Oasis.
really, just meeting. It's
Bro,
awesome.
it's so good.
I don't know, dude. I ate before you guys got here. I want to try Oasis.
I don't know.
Though.
Depending on how long this goes, I don't know if I have time either. Right?
Yeah.
Mackie booked the thing. I thought he was booking at 5, but he ended up booking at 3.
Mackie, he's another one of those corporate guys.
Yeah.
He's fucking.
Corporate guy that does nothing.
Yo, I was saying that the other day. Like, dude, corporate world's so crazy.
Honestly, I respect the shit out of it though. It's
Yeah.
like, if you're fucking gonna get paid
But
to
he
play
makes good
Call
money.
of Duty,
Yeah.
get paid to play Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
if you
As long as you get your shit done.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
get your
it's not
shit
your
done.
fault you don't have any tasks.
yeah.
I agree.
Like, if
That's how I felt working in like engineering. Like, I mean, one of the jobs I did was like I literally was like building electrical control panels for like my dad's company. They do build hydroelectric actuators,
Jesus
and
Christ.
I'd build like wiring kits and like cut wire. Sometimes I'd be cutting wire for like 3 hours and I would literally fall asleep, or like cutting metal rails with like a big thing and like. It was just like the most tedious thing, like wiring all these boards and everything. It was cool to learn, but like I did the bitch work.
Like hand to hand stuff. Like my cousin does frame to finish, like housing.
Yeah.
like you're fucking working all day long.
Yeah.
There is no break.
But then I worked office
you're
too.
just doing
No
shit.
break at all.
But then like in the office, it's like the break is the work. It's like you're just kind of living your life almost, and then like you have a certain amount of stuff to do. And yeah, like granted, like I mean the way they used to do it, where like they'd kind of put you in like if you're like an SDR, like maybe they just put you in a room, they give you a book of 150 names, and they say, all right, call, all right, call, all right, call, all right, call. It's like that sucks. That's
Cold calling, yeah.
But like when you get to do it
We've
now,
done
it's
some
like
cold calling for a couple things we trying to do.
probably and like similar
It
to
is
like what you
still
guys saying in like when you went to for like the food truck race.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you have to go around all these random
It's the most
people.
demoralizing thing when you're just like,
And so-
everyone's like, yeah, like, shut up.
Smashing your head against the wall like that at that rate, like where you just have to pick the phone up and keep going and going, like that's no good. So you kind of need to make it the way that we have it, where like they want you to make like 50 calls throughout the day. Like don't kill yourself, because if you call, like, you know, some of us call like 100 people a day and no one will even answer, or like someone will answer and be like fuck off, and then they and like if you're like mentally weak, like I don't give a fuck, like
it's just they're having a
all
rough
right,
day.
yeah, whatever, all right, next call, like I don't care. But like some people can't handle that shit, so it's like you kind of need to make it like very easy on you, like mentally, because it's not like you're doing like the wiring thing where it's like obviously if you do something wrong, like you're fucking up, and that always sucks. But it's like you just kind of have to keep doing it. There's no like there's no
did that
like
for a summer.
it's not like the wire can be like fuck you, like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta
Then
keep
I worked
doing
in
it. Shoveling's the same
I was like
way.
an assistant
You're always just
project
gonna shovel.
manager at fucking MCOR doing like a co-op for 6 months, and it was cool. I liked learning about HVAC and like designing it and going
It's a
to
good
sites.
skill too.
But like it was
Like, for life.
kind of during COVID, so I don't know like how much it is like now, but I was in the office every day. Like I didn't work remote at all, so I was in the office every day, and like sometimes there'd be other people working remote, and I'd literally go around to every sales manager, and I was just like sales engineer they call them. They were like the guys that they were the ones that they get the commission and they run the jobs, but then they have project managers that like manage the subs and everything. Mm-hmm. So it was like I was doing like what the project managers were doing, and like doing stuff that they gave me, but then I started going to the sales engineers and being like, hey, I need more work. Like I'm in the office from 8 to 5.
Yeah.
Like I need more stuff to do.
Always.
Because I would always, like I would just be sitting there, and then I'd end up like going on and like one time I remember I was like trying to build a new PC, so I was like adding all the parts and like figuring out what I want to do for like a whole day. And I'm like, you get bored.
That shit happened to me all the time at work, and I would always say like, hey, like, can I you have anything else I can help you with?
Yeah.
Like, can you show me something else I can do to add to my responsibilities, like my day-to-day responsibilities?
Yeah.
Because it's like,
it's hard
all
without
right,
a structure
bro,
too.
I played so much Call of Duty when I was working from home. It's like, dude, just like give me something else to do, because you fucking.
He would literally like sometimes you'd only have to work for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I'd be like, yo, like, and I was technically on either internship or co-op.
Yeah.
So it's like I had even less responsibility, but for me, you feel like a piece of shit when you're doing that.
Yeah.
It's like fun in the moment. You're like, yeah, I'm playing COD, I'm getting fucking paid, and I don't have any work to do. So I finish my work in an
But
hour
you'd
and a
rather
half.
be doing Paisani.
But I'd rather be like.
Well, that's what I
doing
mean. That's why we
tangible
It's a
pay.
lot more work, and it's a lot less rewarding in the short term stuff.
Well,
like,
that's the thing. Like it's
money
like,
to do nothing, and you'd still much rather do that.
Yeah. Well, so
Says
like one of the big things that like always resonated with me, like before I started business, I was going to the chiropractor, and he was a great dude, and it's his business. And when he got out of school,
he had to fix his Johns.
him and his friends, like they're all chiropractors, and like they all went and started making like $250 or $200K right off rip, and they were killing it, and like he opened his own practice right away.
Yeah.
And he's like, at first I wasn't making much money. Like I was making enough to get by, but like I had to work a little bit longer, a little bit harder, and you know, I was building this reputation, but now he's like, now I make so much money, and my friends, they're still making money, but they all like, because they were making a high salary off rip, they started upgrading their lives so quickly that like now their paycheck might be $5,000 a week or $6,000 a week, but their expenses are like $4,000 a week.
Yeah,
or
so-
whatever. Like they're driving Porsches and have sick houses and members at these golf courses.
There's
and
no
it's
way
like,
to level up at that point.
Yeah, and
well,
also
there is,
it's like
but it's like you get stuck at a salary
in
and
their
then it's just like-
career.
yeah, you're stuck
Within their career,
Another book
it's
I
like-
read, Millionaire Next Door. That's all about that. It's like you could have a doctor or lawyer that looks like they're friggin' loaded next to you, but to their name they have less net worth than you, because like the average millionaire is somebody who has like just like a normal house, a normal life that is just saving money, investing 10%, 20%. They're not upgrading in every aspect you can. You know, like I'm somebody that like I always want to like try to be a member at a golf course. It doesn't have to be the craziest place or whatever. Yeah. But I don't need a fancy car. I don't need a fucking huge house. Like I always live below I'll always live a little bit below my means. And like if I have the money to do something I want to do and an experience, then that's worth it to me.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't want to get like a lot of people, they get like single family homes. Like my mom's been paying our mortgage forever. It's great. It's the best investment she's ever made, like over time. But for some people, they get into that kind of thing, and then it's just like if you do it with like a married couple, and then like they get divorced, and then it's it's just you get in too deep because you think you got the money.
Yeah.
And then it's like at the end of the day, you're like, holy shit, like where's it all going? It's all going to like just like up, like it's like a fucking video game. It's like you make more money,
going to the
spend
upgrade.
more money.
Yeah, it's like you're running low on even things. That's kind of what you were saying. You can't really like go any further up from it. Like if you need to make like this big like recovery decision, if you need something like you need a lot of money like randomly. Like my dad, right before like the recession, like bought the house across the street.
Oh, really?
Oh, it got fucked. Like it was like.
But it's
we're all good now, but but right before the recession,
Yeah.
so like he had to sell it before like he could ever make any money because we had no money. Like it kind of like went. I mean, just honestly, that's just bad time to take a risk. Like accidentally, there's nothing you can do about it. I feel like if I was living at that time, I would have done the same thing. You want to buy like you know, real estate was like the jive.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why there was a bubble. They were giving out loans to anybody.
Exactly.
Now
so
it's
like
hard to get a loan.
And it's the same. That's kind of the problem. Is like. You know, you want to take a risk and you want to do those things, but they really, really can backfire. Like that's why something like what you guys are doing is cool to me because like it is a risk in a lot of senses, and like every month, you know, you're putting $25,000 back into this truck and trying to pay yourself, and you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. You want to pay the right people. It's a fucking shit ton of work. So I'm wondering like, because a lot of people want to start a business, like a lot of people, you know, pretty much everyone you know has an idea somewhere stuffed, like. What's like your recommendation to someone like starting an idea? Because not everyone should, by the way. Yeah. But like, what's your recommendation in terms of a thought process and taking risk?
I think first and foremost, it's like you need to like a lot of people want to start a business and they think they just can make money out of like a business idea. If you don't love like the idea of that, or you don't like, it can't just be about like, oh, you think this is a good idea that can make money. It's like. You also need to love what you're doing, depending on what that idea is, because you're gonna be tasked with so much responsibility that if you don't love it, if you're not 100% invested, then it's gonna fail. Because there's just so much work that comes with it, at least in the startup stages. Unless you are one of those people who are fucking made of money, and you can hire people to do all the bitch work. It's like. In the first couple of years, it's a bitch, and it's like there's so much responsibility, accountability, and startup work that goes into building it, and you're learning so much in those first couple of years, and if you don't love it, you're just gonna end up wasting your time on something that's never gonna come to fruition.
Like you gotta love the idea, not like the money that could come with it.
Yeah, and you don't like to be 100% honest. Like I don't love. Every day having to go prep and cook and like grind that away, because when I get home I got to do other stuff too. So it's like what I love is like business proposals and meetings and trying to grow the business. So it's like that's what we're trying to get to. But like Ryan said, that takes a lot of money to like not work in it. So it's like we're working in it now, but we want to. My goal is within a couple of years I don't want to be touching a sandwich. I want to be training people in.
Well, you want to be eating them.
Yeah. do you want to be touching the sandwiches stuff? Like you like to cook, you like to be around.
Well, he's a
little bit of both. Like I'm less
like an in-store manager type of thing. I mean, obviously you'd have like
co-ownership. I think I kind of
not even that. Like this is the thing. Like if we want to take this big time, like my goal is always to be big time. Like I'm talking like maybe start with 3 stores, and then if like we can franchise to having like one in New York, one in LA, one in. Like, that's what I would like to do.
Yeah.
So it's, like, not a franchise as big as, like, a Chipotle or, like, a McDonald's or something. Like, we don't want it to, like, the quality to go down. But, like, you look at Ale and Tico, or Alevinayo and Tico, whatever. It's, like, it was a sandwich shop in Florence. They just opened one in New York. And they crush it. and it's like it's still their authentic shit. They're making all the stuff from scratch, and like, but you think the owners in LA, in New York, and that's what I mean. Like, I go to all these places and restaurants. I'm like, the owners are never at these places.
Right.
So it's like that's where I want to get, but they're doing a ton of shit on the side to grow it, because the amount of work we put into start the first food truck, we won't be able to work full time on the truck and do all of that shit to get another one going at the same time. So it's like when we get to the point where we're like, let's try to build out 2 stores this year, we're gonna need to be in. I might have to be in New York, and he might have to be in Charleston, and like we're working with subs to build these stores and get this going and training, and then it's like, and then it gets to another point where it's like, all right, now we have people that are doing that. Yeah. And it's like now we're just going to, so it's like, and it's not necessarily just with Paisani too. Like, I'm sure we'll eventually, if we like are successful, we'll get into the real estate side of things and buying properties to build out, maybe get into the restaurant space. But it's just, you have to think big when you start. And what I would highly recommend to anybody is, if you can, like, if you're somebody who's like, I'm going to work for 10 years and then start a business and save up, I think it's a great idea. We said, fuck it. We tried to find the money and do it, and we just did it. But if you can work on a business plan and like dial it in as fine as you can, I mean, we pretty much operate like our business plan said before we did it. Obviously, you're not going to learn the processes and systems and everything until you do it, but you have to have a plan in place. And I would highly recommend anyone to start a business. Like, if that's what you're going to start doing full time, go into it with like employees and people trained, because, and like, you're going to still have to learn stuff. But I think, like, when we started our first day, it was a shit show. Yeah. If we had hired, like, 2 people to come along with us we thought, we can just do it. Yeah. We'll be fine. It's like, fuck no, we need another person full-time. How are we going to find that?
And there's so many wake-up calls like that we've experienced over the course of the 2 years that we've been in business. Yeah. So the whole point of that is, like, you're going to have all these setbacks, and, like, brings back to, like, my number one thing. Like, if you're not invested in it 100%, then all it takes is, you might make it through the first barrier, the second barrier, the third barrier, but the 4th time that something fucking hits you and you get brought back onto your fucking feet again and knocked down, it's like, you might not get up and bite that kneecap like Dan Campbell, you know what I mean? Dude, yeah. So you gotta love it, and you gotta just, like, him and I are both goal-oriented and challenge-oriented people where we're ready to, like, throw ourselves in the fire and fucking make something out of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that also benefits us. Like he said, like dream big. Think of, like, the future and what you want to see yourself in 10, 15, 20 years' time. And it's like, how do you get there? You need to keep developing. You need to keep learning. You're always trying to get better. We think we have, like, things down, like, pretty well when it's Tommy, him and I on the truck now. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so what happens when we replace one of us with someone? All right, can we do it? Okay, what happens when we replace 2 of us? Yeah. What happens when none of us 3 are on there anymore? Is there, like, how can we continue to get better and grow at the same time?
Yeah, like, continue to find, like, whatever the challenge was. Because you think about those challenges are probably huge, like, growing points. Yeah. Like, you first get on the truck, you don't know what the fuck's going on, but you got through it, and then, okay, now we can do this. Like, that's a huge step. And it probably happens every time that there's, like, you want to, you try to, maybe you're doing a new location, or you add another day on the week. I don't know what all your challenges have been, whatever it may be. Generator breaks down. It's like, then you become very resourceful very fast.
Shit goes wrong, not just in our business. I mean, I think the food business, especially food truck, being mobile and, like, having to, like, unload and load the truck every day, and, like, shit goes wrong. You forget shit.
Operations is very important.
It's very tough but it's like the truck can break down, and then you're not making money, and then you just paid for all the food, and it's like you can lose money so fast in this business that it's like you have to just keep making it. Like, it's like, like, you can't just take a day off like in the busy season, because it's like we take, like, Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July off because the city's dead. Because everyone's down the Cape and stuff. But, like, other than those weekends, like, we're out grinding, like, trying to make whatever money we can. And it's like, you got to have some balance, because it's like, it's the summer. Like, our winters might be slow, but it's like we're not outside hanging out and stuff. Like, so you got to have some balance. So, like, for us this year, our goal is to, we actually are starting working on our business plan for our storefront, so that in next winter, we can start working on getting some money to start that, hopefully.
That too. Start fucking writing down your shit. Write a business plan out, and then you'll see all the things that go into whatever business you want to go into. You'll realize how much of a burden it's gonna be, and like you can start doing your research on things, and then that'll give you an idea if you really want to fuck.
Here's a big issue though with that. So you guys are kind of lucky because you already not lucky. Obviously, it's all hard work, but like you guys have already started, so. Like it's like you're eliminating an option, but you're thinking, all right, and it's like if you do enough research, like that's not realistic. You'll do another thing, and then you start researching that until you find that's realistic. But what a lot of people really struggle with is just kind of doing it in the first place. Like whatever they want to do, just doing. And what happens is people get stuck in the planning phase. They get stuck thinking about the future. They get stuck thinking about all the things that they can't do about it, and then they drop the entire idea. Dude, you know, I mean, so it's like I think I agree. Like this has been my big thing for this year for me, not just like the podcast. Like I give a fuck, but I don't really give a fuck. I just like to have people on and have fun. But like my life in general, it's like look, like you want to like take a look into the future. You want to kind of like take a quick look into the past, but that should only take up 10 to 15% of your time. The rest is just fully right now oriented, because then you'll psych yourself out thinking about the future, or you'll stress yourself out thinking about like some of your past mistakes. Otherwise, you just need to really be focused on.
Yeah, and I'm kind of having that thing. I'm kind of having that situation right now where it's like, because I've always wanted to make like a YouTube channel or like TikTok for golf or fitness or whatever, because like I was always overweight growing up, and then at one time I was just like, let's get shredded. Like let's just go until I can. And I went from 220 pounds to 165 pounds, and I was like 6% body fat.
That's insane.
And I did that through counting calories and working out and boxing and all this shit. So, and I learned the only reason I could do that is because of all the knowledge I gained from YouTube and all that stuff. So I'm like, why don't I do that too?
Totally.
And so it's like, I've been thinking about doing something like that, because I just started, now that I had a lot of time to think when my knee was fucked up, obviously. And ever since, like the day after Christmas, I started a diet and go to the gym again, because my knee started feeling better. And I'm down like 13 pounds. And I'm trying to get down like another, I don't know, 40. So, it's like I thought about documenting it. I just don't have the balls. Like I'll take a video of the camera and I'll be like, fine, like I don't like the way I look. Like I don't, you know what I mean? It's like you got the insecurities and stuff, and then it's just like I'll take videos.
Too much.
Yeah, I'll take videos and then I'll feel too insecure to post them and shit, when it's like I'm not that insecure. Like I'll fucking hop on the podcast, say whatever. Like I was on TV, like I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's just like when you're doing it and you're the only person like doing it, and you're like taking a video of yourself, it just feels weird.
Dude, I past few episodes I did by myself just because I wanted to give it a try. Like, you know, like Theo Vaughn style, or like Tim Dillon. I don't know if you guys watch those guys, but like mad fun. I enjoy it, and I was like, let me try it, and it is weird. I made one about 6 months ago that I did by myself, 40-minute episode, all alone. And I set it up. I did a good job with it. It looks good. It sounded good. Threw it out. Because I was like, I'm not going to record myself. Put it out there like that. It's fucking stupid. But you just got to do it. Like, no one cares. Really.
Like, Foreplay, obviously, Barstool, Bob Does Sports, those guys. Yeah. Like, I thought about doing something like that with me and my friends golf. We have a blast. We're always saying some funny shit.
Yeah.
We're always playing a match, and like I play some nice courses with some of my friends, and I thought about like, why don't we just fucking record it? Like, what's gonna fucking go wrong? Like nothing's gonna go wrong.
Nothing will go wrong.
Like you just gotta like just do it, and so like
unless I'm shooting, the ball's going.
Just be willing to be embarrassed. Like it doesn't.
No, that's that. Yeah, I don't really care, but that's what. I'm going to North Carolina in a couple weeks. I think I'm gonna bring my drone, and my buddy's gonna bring his GoPro. So we're gonna do like a cart cam, and we're just gonna make the video. We're gonna edit it.
You should call it mini golf.
Ooh,
that'd be funny.
Yo, I think the whole point of like that's a sick name.
You wouldn't be mini golfing. I mean, maybe you should start mini golfing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Good for your putting game. I don't know.
I think the whole point of like that is like you can say like, oh, you're gonna be embarrassed, but it's like who are you embarrassed by? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what it all comes down to. It comes down to like,
what is the audience you're trying to reach? If someone thinks you're a fucking fool, like think about the people who have 500,000 followers on Instagram, millions of followers. It's like there's always people in the comments being like, "Yo, fuck you, you're a clown." Like, dude, and there's gonna be people who like you and people who don't. You don't do it for the people who don't. So who gives a fuck? They're actually making your shit stronger because they're commenting and liking on your fucking posts.
It's also true.
So it's like, I don't know. You're not in like high school anymore where you're constantly thinking about what everyone else's opinion is of you. Yeah. So it's like those people, if they either grew up or they didn't, and if they didn't grow up, they're still out there That's how people are. But like, you're not doing it for them, so who cares?
Let's also have let's try to have another hint of honesty with it. Like something like I'm trying to be very self-aware of what I'm doing, and like, cause this is, to a lot of people, it's weird. Like, you know, you make like you're the white kid that made a podcast because you watch and love Joe Rogan. Like, I understand what that looks like, and like, I try to not be that kid, but like, but it doesn't, like, you can't let it matter too much. But like, also at the same time, I know that when I look at, I've seen videos pop up in my shit, and I'm like, this kid's a fucking loser. Like, and he's in the same situation as me, and but like, I can't get over that in my head. And I think a big piece of getting over it for yourself is getting over it with other people. If you see, like, if you have a friend that, or like, not friend, maybe someone that like you didn't really like in high school, that like is out there doing something like, you know, for himself, like his own little business, his own little personality page, whatever, brand, just support that too, mentally. Be like, all right, you know what, good for them, and scroll. And that's made me feel better about, like, no matter what I see, who it is.
My sister's huge in social media. She's got 200 and something thousand.
Oh yeah, she's a fucking singer.
Bro.
Yeah,
she's nasty.
Dude, you gotta come on separately. And like, cause I know a lot about you, like, but like you, I feel like I forget all the stuff.
I mean, we don't know each other that well. Like,
just drank, once you start mini golf.
I just drank in your presence in college. But no, another part of it too is like, but like I'm not too judgmental about people that make that kind of stuff, because I've always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I've just been too much of a pussy to do it.
Yeah.
But like, I'll see my friends like, oh, this kid posted this again. Like, what a tool. And I'm
right.
like, well, he's actually doing pretty good. Like, he's got the balls to post that. Like, that's pretty cool. Like,
hey, defend it. And mentally,
Yeah,
I've started
you know what
doing
I mean?
that.
Yeah, it starts to help.
So it's like,
It makes me feel better.
but it's like, you can say that about Logan. You can say Logan Paul's a tool. Would I want to live his life? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can
know what
think
I
he's a
mean?
tool, but like, you can't, like, you just
works
gotta
his fucking balls.
You gotta respect the work. You just have to. You have to respect. And then it'll let
that's
you.
why I love what you're doing. I think it's awesome. That
Thank you. Like, see, like you like,
just took initiative. This is your 115th episode. That's 115 hours of at least.
Just recording.
Yeah, then it's editing the audio and the video and it's
That's
impressive,
the other thing.
bro.
Like, people don't see.
We talked about starting a podcast too.
Dude, you guys should do it. You guys
bringing on like small business
perfect.
to start. Bring like, we know a bunch of people in like the food industry now, like with food trucks, and even the people at our commissary that do other food businesses. And so we thought about like maybe doing something like that and bring
the food truck stop. Yeah, you guys just have fucking food trucks come on. You could do it like.
But then also we could bring like you on an episode. Like, it doesn't have to be that structured. But it's like, if it's tailored towards like that kind of stuff, like
well, I definitely
type
me being a guy that fumbled that. Huge suggestion, if you do think podcast or anything,
niche.
Pick a fucking lane.
Pick a niche.
Because, dude,
anything.
I'm just fucking.
Yeah, but you're the Joe Rogan of fucking.
Nothing. It's mad fun, but like.
How many followers do you have now?
I have no idea. 600, something like that.
Okay.
Like nothing.
We'll try to get that.
We'll get that till I get that.
Yeah.
But I just want to like. I think that's just the only way. I was like you said, just
TikTok
pick something
every day. Like,
no, that's my biggest. Well, it's just like
hard, bro.
Think
What
about
are you gonna
it.
fucking?
Yeah. But you could probably get like 5 or 6 clips from this, and then put two a day for 3 or 4 days.
You guys ever seen Sunday Conversations with Caleb Presley?
Yeah.
I haven't.
You have though.
Yeah.
I think you.
I probably have.
Dude, you 100%. The guy with the long hair,
the beard and the mustache.
Caleb Presley.
Yeah, I know who Caleb Presley is.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen
The
him.
Sunday Conversations with like Drake, like one with Drake, and like they're like quick, funny clips. I'd love to make one of those too. I think that'd be so fucking funny with like.
Why don't you just do why don't you do at the segment at the end of every podcast where it's like 10 minutes of you just asking like
Stupid
a weird,
questions.
goofy questions that like get people out of their comfort zone.
Every time, the biggest issue with me, I'm openly lazy, so it's just like lazy because like as lazy as you can be when you're taking on an entire hobby on top of like the work.
I don't know if that's the right word.
So lazy's kind of like, and I also it's like I go to the gym. I live my life.
If you have the option to be lazy, you'd probably naturally you'd rather be lazy.
Yeah.
But, like you make yourself.
I just do all. I schedule myself for shit, so that like I can't be lazy. But it's just like, dude, it's tough to fucking sit down. And,
you gotta batch edit and then
edit.
Schedule.
Dude, batch editing even.
Do you use Final Cut?
No, I use.
I can send it to you for free
DaVinci
if you
Resolve. Which is free program. It's honestly pretty good for a free program.
If you want Final Cut Pro, I can send it to you for free.
What, really?
Yeah, it's a MacBook software for video editing.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's free?
No, it's $400.
You got it illegally.
No, I didn't get it illegally. But I can send it to you.
Please do. Fucking
Sounds pretty illegal to me.
It's not illegal.
Nah, he's a guy. He's just a guy. He knows. Hey,
I got it from somebody. I can send it to you, but you can just send the file. Like it's literally.
100%. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, send it my way for sure.
Send it to me too.
But no, and you should.
I've told you about it 100 times.
I know.
But you like to use those stupid apps that you have to like delete the watermark.
Kid's making the video
edit,
in the top left corner.
Kid takes his kid 2 hours to edit a 15-second video.
That's how it be, dude.
No, it do be like that.
That's how it be.
Like that.
Trust me, I started
editing
when my leg was
It's
messed
so
up.
hard, bro.
When my leg was messed up, I started a Reddit. You know those TikToks that come up and it's like a Reddit and then it's like Minecraft in the back. Like
Oh yeah.
I started that. I started a motivational, like you take like Denzel Washington and like
put it in black and white, put some cool subtitles.
I tried that, and I just kept getting shadow banned. Like I wasn't getting anything.
Yeah, and
so
dude, this shit's
it was tedious as fuck to like do. But I used like some AI softwares that would like I would post a YouTube video on there, take like 10 minutes and clip me like 100 clips from it, and then I would like schedule them. I would just bust out schedules and like I'd use ChatGPT to generate.
See, I want to do that.
It's just so diluted.
There's an AI that like makes like I can take my clips and take my whole episodes and make like 30 clips for me.
Probably not the best quality.
I just that's my thing. It's like I think about like your sandwich.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could have someone bust out 30 sandwiches for you like that, and all of a sudden you don't gotta do nothing. It's like guess what? Those sandwiches probably aren't going to be as good as when you make the sandwich. When you can make that translucent cut, like that's your thing. The translucent cut, cut. It's everything. But like for me, that's like maybe I like a little bit of dead spots.
Yeah.
I think like a pause is important for a comedic effect. So a lot of times I'll leave the pause. No AI will ever leave a pause for you because they want, like what people like, you know, but. I don't care about the 99%. Like I want my 1% of people that think that shit's funny. Yeah. So like that's who will like my podcast. So it's like I've thought about it. Something like Final Cut Pro would be sick. Actually, send that to me, please.
I'll get your email.
We'll exchange information. I'll have my guy talk to your guy. We can exchange information that way. But yeah, I think we should probably
140.
Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours. It flies, huh?
It does, dude. I can do it for 12.
I know, it's the best. This is my favorite thing. I wish I could just only record.
But yeah, last thing on the business thing.
Please do, yeah, continue.
We've always said since the start, we've had many hardships, whether it's financially, mentally, physically, generator, whatever. Every time something happens, we just say nothing can stop the Paisans, and we just fucking figure it out and fucking do it. And then guess what? The next time you're just better and stronger, and then you're like, fuck it. Like, this sucks, but we're going to get through it. Like, this is, like, we thought it was the end of the world and we lost our kitchen. Like, we lost probably $30,000 from that because we're paying all this shit with no income coming in. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, but we survived. We found a new kitchen within almost a month.
And it's better.
And now it's like, it's better. We have a great mentor there who owns it, and he's just a great guy, and like he's like willing to help us if we have any questions because he's been in the food business and successful for 30 years. And like, so you just got to realize that like there's a lot of hardships, like I said, financially, mentally, physically. They're all going to happen. They're all going to happen all the time.
Everything happens for a reason. It's like the way you have to look at it is we talk about, we're like, they're just testing us. Like, I think I remember I texted him something and I was like, this was right after we found out we had to leave like the previous commissary we were at. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, they're just testing us. They just want to see if we're actually cut for this.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants the money. Everybody wants to start a business and wants to do a side hustle to make money. And it's like, you've been doing this podcast forever. I don't know if you've made any money off it or not, but if
little.
Yeah.
Not like any serious amount.
But you're doing it for passion, and like if you just, it's going to turn into something that's going to, you're not even doing it for the money, which is good. Because you're learning from doing, and then money is gonna come to you.
Yeah, the opportunity.
I can almost guarantee you've done this so much already. There's gonna be a point if you don't stop where you're gonna be like, holy shit, like somehow I'm making like $5,000 a month from doing this. Like maybe I don't have to.
Ideally, with the new job, I can make some money. I can actually buy. Like you guys can look around. Let me tell you,
dude, this is a fine setup.
The lights for free.
Yeah,
got them for free. The mics combined $90. The 2 phones were free because that's my phone, and those are my cameras, are the phones, guys. By the way, for anyone that's watching. Yeah. This is the fucking back of my garage. The flag I got for free as a sample.
That's
so I was
awesome.
given that for free.
AliExpress?
Nope, I got as a sample from Printful.
Printful.
Shout out Printful.
Classic.
And then the
use
Rainbow
that.
Road sign.
Yep.
To be determined where that came from. Who knows? Everything. This was a gift. And this was for school.
Oh, maybe we'll get
I
you,
have
maybe we'll get
paid-
you a Paisani flag in there.
Hey, if you guys got Paisani, I'll put it somewhere. I don't know where I'd put it.
Sounds
Dude,
good.
I had a
Put it in.
Paisani hat for you at the house too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
had some.
bring it
I
back,
had
dude.
some DOD-Cast hats, but I didn't know if
Mike
you guys
dropped
would
me
want
off right from the.
Do you guys have any DOD-Cast?
I don't, and I want one.
Dog
Do you want
tags.
DOD-Cast hats?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I bring?
said dog tags.
No,
Yeah,
dog tags.
yeah, for sure.
I'll get you guys hats before you guys leave. I have two. I
Unreal.
can get. I think I have like 5 more that would fit you guys.
Word.
But I was gonna get you guys hats, and I was like, I don't know if like who has a hat
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I was like, let me just wait. But
Well,
yeah,
we'll
I'll hook
exchange
you guys
hats.
up. We'll exchange hats, and then we'll exchange information.
Yeah.
You can send me the
Yeah,
photo.
For sure.
But yeah, thank you guys so much
you.
for finally
This was
making this
awesome.
happen. This
Thank
was
you,
great. I hopefully everyone, maybe you just fucking got yourself a new employee. I want to work for you guys after hearing all this good stuff.
Hey, once you start making enough money from your podcast, and then in a little bit of like 20 hours of Paisani, and then your podcast,
in the podcast,
that's
no,
outweighing. Then you're
that'd
good.
be better than fucking what I'm
Yeah.
doing. See, that's an alternative.
Yeah.
Present someone an alternative, a good
But
alternative.
I think you need to. I don't know how often you're posting, but I think if you just keep posting as much as you can. I know it's probably hard to get people in here all the time too.
Key is just as long as I'm having fun. Like, you guys have fun today?
Yeah.
Did
you enjoy your
I can't
time
believe
on
it's
the-
already been. I wish I could stay
know.
longer.
You guys
I would
enjoyed-
actually be here until fucking 12 tonight.
You
if I
enjoyed your
could.
time on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
100%, dude. Yeah, that's all
Game
that
over.
matters.
It's all. If I have fun in these 1 to 2 hours every time, I'll do it the rest of my life.
And all I'm saying by that is just like I know that you're so committed to this that like it'll turn into a business without you even realizing.
Yeah, if I can.
It
just-
really will.
I do need to put that
It
work
will.
in though. You're right.
But
You're
it
right.
does take the extra, like, you got to just look at what all these other guys are doing. And, like, how did they, obviously, some of them get lucky. They have one clip or, like, one person that they knew through a family friend that comes on and then it blows up their page. And it's like, but you just, with the grind, like you said, the 115th episode, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Like, that's a lot of,
You know, luck. You got to make your own luck. Like my grandfather always said to my dad.
yeah.
He's like, Mikko, you got to be in position, Mikko. You got to be ready to field the ground ball. If you're not in position,
Yeah.
if a ball gets
But
hit
you're
your
putting
way, you're
yourself
never
in
gonna
position.
get it. So like, you just need to be ready for the ball to come your
Yeah.
way. And I did play the hot corner. You know, I was third baseman back in my
Yep,
day.
yep.
You darn.
Oh, yeah.
Third baseman,
Watch
catcher,
out for Mike.
center
Center,
field.
Yeah.
open one.
Yeah, straight up.
I was too fat for center field, but I,
pitching.
pitcher, shortstop, third base, catcher, first
Yeah.
base.
Yo, I threw
Yeah.
a no-hitter in the minor league championship.
Did
game.
you?
But I actually do gotta go.
Is that the highlight of your life? Oh yeah, yeah.
That was a highlight of
We
my
gotta
life.
get you guys
for
out of
sure.
here. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, brother.
Dude,
Thank you very
so
much for coming
brother.
on. I
It was a
appreciate
pleasure.
you
That was a
guys.
blast.
Yeah, I had a great time. And
We'll be back.
bye bye, everybody.
We're
You'll be
definitely
back.
gonna be
Goodbye.
back. Definitely gonna be back. We'll be back mid-season, and you'll hear like, "Fuck, this kid's fucking such a grind."